Welcome to Summer Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform. It's the #1 destination for all things summer fun. We'll chat about your summer passions and share some fan photos along the way. Summer Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride. This episode of Summer Sessions Live is brought to you by Energy Powersports. They're Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. Check out energypowersports.ca. They're the reason this show goes on every week, but we also got to thank the super fans. And last week we had to dust off the old sound effect because Dustin Ingram come through with a $2 donation. So if you want to make a donation to the crew, you just hit that $sign in the bottom of your chats, and your little chat, you say something, will be featured on there, and it'll help me buy parts for my dirt bike, and my dirt bike needs parts. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate that. All right, Andy, how's it going? You're muted, I think. Can't hear him. Hold on. We got to add him in here.
Try that, buddy.
I had to add Andy in because he shut his audio off on his computer. So
yeah. Hey, Gary.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Good.
So we got two up and coming racers below us, or maybe they're already here. I don't know. But say hi to Kale Firth and WYATT KERR.
How's it going?
Really good. You guys now? Do you guys know each other from the scene? I know you, Kale. You delve in a little bit of both bike and sleds, right?
No, I have no clue who this guy is.
Yeah, I know this guy. He's some sort of sled rider, but I don't know.
We've been.
There might be a bit of a rift here between dirt bike and sled, so we may have to separate them.
Hopefully, the chat will get going on that too.
Yeah. We've been training in MPA for, I think it's been like 3 years now. Met him in 2018, 2019. And we've been training there at Motor Park for a while now. Been fun though.
Yeah. Right on. Now, are you guys same age, or is there an age difference there?
Yeah, I'm 17, I think. He's 17.
Yeah, I just turned 18 last week, so.
Yeah.
Now, I was in the liquor store behind you, WYATT, last week. Now, what's up with that?
Yeah. Man,
so you're 19 when you're in the liquor store, but you're 17 when you're racing. I get it. Hey, we got David McKinney in the house. He says, howdy, boys. And we have Matthew Nicholson. He says, yo, what's up? And someone else, Slowbee's come in. He says, fella, what's up? Slowbee just launched an online store. He's a YouTuber. So make sure you go check out Slowbee's channel. I think he's got a video there today that talks about it. So
cool.
Help the guy out. He's a good cat. So
always glad to help a guy out.
Kale, you don't know who David McKinney is? Do you know that name?
I know the last name, but he might have the same last name as the other guy I know, but
well, he's a big deal.
Oh, he's a big deal.
Yeah. Ride 509. Have you watched just look at the 509 live from this week with him and Rusty or him and Roscoe, Roscoe and him riding dirt bikes. That's David McKinney, man.
Whoa.
Oh, he's a rock star, man.
509's huge.
Oh, exactly, man. David McKinney loves us. So, and we love him back. So he says, sometime it's now Greg's in the house. He says, what's up, boys? Oh yeah, for sure. David McKinney's the real deal, man. I bet you he's going to love seeing the photos you guys sent in, because he's a huge snowmobiler and an MX rider, although they said they don't ride much MX. They've got mad skills, man. I thought I could go out there and ride with Dave McKinney, and then I looked at what he's going over logs and stumps and everything. I'm going like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I should just say
enduro guy.
David McKinney says, I appreciate the love, boys. Had to jump in to see the summer episode. Of course you do. We'll get him on. We'll get him on to chat sometime. So, but so anyway, Greg from Sometime Is Now, he's in the house too. He's in the house every week though, Andy, isn't he?
Yep. Yep. Just
Don't
think
mind me, man.
if we put these two teenage boys together, we would get like 1:5:09.
We would. We have, so I guess we have like 120. What's 509 divided by 2? It's 254.5.
You didn't say math was involved, Gary.
No, I didn't.
No, we're racers, man. We suck at school. It's like a stereotype.
That's right. That's right. So, hey, listen, let's, so anyway, you race this, do you race the same series together in the summertime or what's up with that?
Yeah, like we'll race MRC and AMO together, and we found known each other for I think 4 or 5 years just from being at the moto park together, and yeah, like we'll race schoolboy and 125s together, so that's kind of
Kale rips a 125 like a madman.
Yeah, man.
Right on.
When he was ripping the 125, you can see it over there in the corner. Oh, it hasn't run for a while. So Kale's the diehard two-stroker.
I just got my bike back together after 3 weeks of it blown up. You know, shout out to the boys at Motomech for getting me the parts. But yeah, she's back together. Had my first ride this weekend. It was sick.
Good.
That's cool. So when does your snowmobile training start, Kale?
As early as possible. I remember for the last 3 years, we've done this risk versus reward thing with the bike. Like we ride, so we feel like if we hurt ourselves, like we don't recover as fast, right? So we usually hang up the bike around September, October, which is early for bike guys, but for us, that's hit the gym. And November, we're basically riding, like if the snow's good.
Yeah, nice. And you where do you train usually? Do you have a private track, or you're out in the country? Do you have land yourself that you have jumps at? So
we in Canada, if we have the snow, we're always at the compound. It's a place in Bracebridge, and they've helped us out a lot. Their track is wicked. They're one of the only tracks up here in Ontario. Other than the compound, we go to Creighton Dillon's track a lot, and sometimes we hit up the Weirs. But there's only like those are the 3 specific tracks that we hit up in the winter. There's not too much here.
That's cool. That's cool. And then as far as you go in the summertime, where both you and Wyatt, where do you guys like to ride and train at?
We basically spend our summer at Moto Park Academy, actually. And that's where we'll train together and ride as well.
Yeah, that's right on. Well, you know what? I'm going to start the fan photos, and then we got lots of photos of you guys, and we'll get you talking about each. And Andy and I chatted today a bit, and I mixed them up. So there's some that are in a row, but there's some that aren't. And I think we're going to have a good time. So just bear with me here a second. I'm just going to run a little bit of an intro, and then we're going to get right to some pictures, starting with a submission from one of our fans.
Let's go.
All right. That worked smooth. I've been at it for a few weeks. So Mike Gillas, he sent me some pictures and a video clip, but I can't play the video clip because he used a copyright song in it. So I don't want to lose my monetization by showing anything that's copyright. But this guy has actually he's been watching our Mud ATV videos, Andy.
Yep.
Our live streams on mudding, and he's tried to show us up on his bike. So check out that.
Oh.
that looks like it's got a lot of cleaning ahead of it.
It does. There you go. I think Sassy Can-Am would be impressed.
I think I got that on the DRZ.
Yeah. I blew up a KX100 in one of those puddles one time.
What happens? Does it suck in water, or what's the disadvantage of doing this with your bike?
Well, I was short and fat at the time, so I really couldn't touch the ground.
Easy now. Go easy on the short and fat.
Right. Anyways, tipped over and, it just sucked in a bunch of water and just blew it up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Greg from Sometimes Now says, holy smokes, I see my photo back when I was like 12 on my Yardman Snow Cub. Yeah, like if you, the fan photo intro is all pictures of people to send in. And here's a challenge. Go back through all the live streams and see if you can pick out each one of them. Maybe there'll be a prize in it for you one day. I don't know. Corey Brock's in the house. Welcome aboard, buddy. He's a fellow sledder and ATVer. Oh, look, man, I made the fan photo intro, he says. So Slowbee says, put SnowBrats in the title and the guys will come out of the woodwork. There you go. Yeah, you got it. So, Andy, you told me one thing. I had a photographer take a shot of me riding through a puddle one time doing a high speed and had a great big tidal wave coming off my bike. But you said not to do that. And what was the reason why?
Wasn't that the river when we were coming up the Speed River on the quads?
No, it was one of my dirt bike. It was just a picture of me on my enduro. I think you said you could go over the handlebars.
Yeah, buried in the it's not so bad if you're good at maintenance on your bushings and bearings and everything else, but I don't know, man. I've never been a fan of burying stuff in the water, with the exception of my Grizz, I guess.
ATVs are kind of meant for it, though, right?
Well, yeah.
Like, what do you think? I think it's pretty. Maybe they had no choice, though, right?
Yeah, could be.
I mean,
yeah.
It's but the video is pretty wicked. It's about 2 minutes long, and it's
right. Where is it?
They're burying it.
Where's
I don't know where he. Don't know. I believe he's stateside. Actually, I don't think he's Canadian.
Oh, okay.
But it looks like your typical ATV. You know what I mean? This could be anywhere Canada, anywhere Ontario. You know what I mean?
Be cool to hit a rock in there where you didn't see it, and then land on your head.
And get it on video. You got to
try to skip across it, you think? Could you like hit it full speed and plane it?
You and Wyatt could skip across the water. Gary and I will waddle through it.
We'll get bike by sled, side by side.
The sled would be no problem getting through there. Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever done any water running on your machines, Kale?
No, man, those are way too expensive. If I train one of those, Big Trav he'd hit me.
Everybody runs water.
Yeah,
I want to do it. I want to find an old beater sled and take it on my lake up north. I think that'd be cool.
A couple of my buddies do it, and they say it's just like a jet ski. But I wouldn't be able. I wouldn't have the. I don't know. If I drown it, I would have to pay for it, and I can't pay for it, so might as well not do it.
Yeah. This might be a personal question, though, but do you pay for your own stuff, or do you have your parents pay for it, or do you have sponsors?
So we're helped out by Polaris quite a bit, and super fortunate to be on their team last year and this year. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to go into that with the whole money thing because we don't do it to make money, right? But I don't spend much out of my own pocket. Big Trav works day and night to get us on the racetrack, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, why do you contribute some now? Like I know you're working and everything, and I know the old man's forked out a lot of money over the years. How's it coming on your end of the deal?
It's coming a little bit more now, especially at this age. It's just like right now in the on season, it's kind of hard to for me to have income because of every weekend's just a constant race. It's like there's not really a break to where I can get up to Motor Park and work or get a different job. So in the fall, I have a job lined up so I can make some money for next season and make some money to go south again. But I just have a bunch of sponsors that help out with funding, and Uncle Eddie for helping out. Huge, major part of my racing style. Yeah.
Kale, do you have a chef that travels with you like Wyatt does?
No, we have some chefs coming, but nothing like Uncle Eddie.
Uncle Eddie is a real chef. We're not talking about a McDonald's line cook here. He's the real deal, man.
He served me some grapes on some toothpicks one time, and it was crazy.
Yeah. Matthew Nicholson says, "Oh dang, he's on the wrong team. He should be on a Skidoo." Well, you don't mention the Polaris word here. There's a lot of Skidoo fans in the house.
I could see that. Like a lot of Canadian viewers, I bet.
David McKinney's a huge Polaris fan, so you just tell Matthew where to go. Okay.
Well, you know what? If you want to follow the crowd, you just go on Skidoo. If you want to stand out, you go on Polaris, right?
Oh, there we go. And it begins.
Oh boy.
Sure. There we go. We'll see what the chat thinks about that.
I'm just stirring the pot, just stirring.
That's right. That's what we love to do, though. Here, we love to do that. So, anyway, like, what are we looking at here, Wyatt? What do we got here?
This is a photo from Texas this past season. Well, this winter actually. When I was down there at the Freestone National, and I think at this photo, I was running like 10th, working my way up to like a 5th, but. This track was super gnarly. It was an old national track too, but they don't run it in the circuit anymore. So this is there's like the power wall right there behind me, and then it goes into a set of 10 rollers, and it was super beat up as well. So, but yeah, it was,
you can see the top of that power wall's just chewed.
Yeah. I should have sent in a photo of the face of it because it was real bad. It was just like ruts all across it and super deep and gnarly. So
are you launching off that or do you kind of just roll over it when it gets like that?
So it's like you drop into it and then you go up and then you double into the whoops. So nobody was tripling because it's kind of too tall, but you just kind of got to launch into it. So you just double and then continue throughout the rhythm. Sometimes you'll skim, sometimes you'll double, but the fastest rhythm was the skim and then double out so you can carry more speed. So
a lot like you and I ride, Gary.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, Kale, Slowbee's got a question for you. I'll put it up on screen there. He says he's never heard of Polaris. Is it some sort of garbage dump?
I don't know, bro. Go to ISOC and see who won the sport championship, man. I don't know. See the most top five riders. Everybody rides Polaris, so I don't really know what you're saying, but
yeah. So, Kale, are you a budding photographer, or what are we looking at here?
So in the summer, since I'm not super competitive on the bikes or not near as fast enough to be competitive, I started a business last year called CGF Odyssey, and I just I started off making edits for my buddies, and it's turned into a big thing, and it's kind of been blowing up a little bit more this year, and workload's getting bigger, but I'm ready for it. And I'm not super into the photography as much as I am into videoing and behind the scenes editing the videos, but yeah.
That's cool. Oh, I did see an edit you made of Wyatt there a few weeks ago, and it rocks. I was actually really jealous because it was almost as good as his stuff I put out.
I like Dustin Ingram for $5.
Nice. Hey, I got like this too. Hold on a second here. Dustin Ingram, thank you so much, buddy. He says Polaris is #1, and he gives us a $5 super chat. That's awesome. Yeah, let's go. Let's see some skidooers out there. Put up a 10 spotter for us. Whatever brand has the most money gets to be #1 tonight. I think. No, that's cool. You keep up the good work. So, do you shoot your video on the SLR, or do you to use your iPhone, or what are you shooting your video with?
Oh no, I got so many things. Right now, I'm shooting for the camera people in the chat or anyone who knows cameras. I'm shooting on a Sony A6300, which is like a beginner entry level camera. But I make it work, it's great for me, and I'm looking to upgrade, but I shoot everything on that camera and edit it in Premiere Pro.
Nice. Editing is the key, though.
Gary does a great job, man. He's put out a lot of really good videos and pictures at the motocross races. People at the track see him. They need to, doesn't matter, just give him money as he's wandering around.
I appreciate it.
Love it. No, yeah, that's cool.
Everyone sees the video part, right? And it seems like the fun part, especially when you're like seeing the boys, traveling on beaches and stuff and going to the motocross races. But no one sees the 5 hours up till 5 a.m. drinking 5 coffees trying to edit a video, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's like that's the whole thing about YouTube is everybody thinks it's easy, and then they realize that holy crap, man, how did you shoot? Like, how did you get like 2 days of video down into 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, if you shoot 4 hours of video, it's 16 hours of editing, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I think I speak for every video guy or YouTube guy when I say, like, even just you have 3 days worth of riding clips and just organizing it takes at least 4 hours, like everything.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Hey, I got to do some house cleaning. Matthew Nicholson, Skidooer. 549.
Gets 549.
Boom. Skidoo for the win. And listen, I thought we were having Blair Morgan on tonight. What are you with you two schmucks? You know?
Yeah.
We had hey, go ahead.
Sorry. I met Blair Morgan one time. He came out to one, I think it was Barrie 2019 at the OLG Slots Casino. Ian Hayden was there. He came. I was having a rough day. Whatever. 2019 was a rough season, but I was having a rough day in general. And Haydo brought me up to the stands, and I met Blair for the first time, and it was like eye opening, right? Like someone you kind of look up to forever, and a big Canadian rider. It was just it was a sick experience.
And how old were you then?
I was 14, 15.
Right on.
Yeah.
And we had him on the show. If you go back in the snowmobile sessions, he was on, and what a truly, truly super nice guy, and humble, and just so good. But
went back and watched that actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Slow beats.
Slow B. We give him the Mountain Madman. Gary, you're only allowed to use this on your Skidoo. He shoots up the $10. Skidoo's winning here.
I love it. I love the competitiveness.
Oh, it is. It's great, you know. But and don't forget to check out Slow B's merch store. Go to Slow B on YouTube and check it out. He's got a launch video on it. So go buy some stuff. He's got some neat beer glasses, and one's got a fishing lure, a Skidoo fishing lure on it. And I actually used his beer koozie, and I put a sticker on the back of my seat when I was fishing, and it helped me catch more fish. So
really,
it does.
Kissing the other day.
Yeah, that's the one I was kissing the other day. I had to stop fishing because Slowbee's merch was just causing too much stuff. So
anything polaris?
David McKinney says completely understand the hours of editing. Just checked out your stuff, Kale. Keep up the good work. That is a true compliment to your work there, buddy. Coming from David McKinney.
It looks like Kale's frozen.
He's either frozen or he's crying.
Yeah, maybe he got hit with a Skidoo.
Yeah, me. I think maybe sometime his now says how old Kale now. He's 17.
17.
Yeah, so that's cool. Well,
by the time his internet
hopefully
back up, he'll be 19.
Yeah, he took himself out. But I think we got another Kale video here. We can always go back to that one. Oh, here he's coming back in.
Yeah, sorry, boys, but power went out in the whole house. Everything shut down. I had a panic attack, but started out the personal hotspot, and we're back on.
Perfect, you're good. No, but where did we
did
Pardon me?
You have Skidoo internet?
Yeah, internet shit.
Hey, stop it. Hey, no, Kale,
Sorry.
did you see this comment from David McKinney? He is DMC Digital. He is a video producer in 509 Films. Look what he says. He says, completely understand that he checked out your stuff up. Keep up the good work, Kale.
Oh, I'm pumped. Thanks, man. Yeah, editing, sometimes editing sucks. Yeah.
Oh, it does. Yeah, everybody will agree to you. But hey, that's a true compliment coming from him, man. Have a look at his stuff. Watch that video he just put out. It's
I'm super open-minded to seeing everyone's edits. Like, everyone's got their own twist on things, right? And the more you can take in, the better.
Have you been watching mine, Kale?
Pardon me?
Have you been watching mine? I use
Everyone.
iPhone S, and iPhone. really low key.
Yeah.
And he
I'll
just
help you out.
uploads it direct from the iPhone. Hey, iPhone's not a bad camera, man, and the microphone's amazing on it.
For
So
sure.
don't knock it till you try it. That whole Lynx video I shot, except the drone footage, that iPhone saved my day because my action camera, I had it on the wrong setting and totally screwed up. But I took a whole bunch on my phone and it saved the day. So what are we looking at here, Kale?
You know what? So Creighton Dillon's track a while back. It was one of my, I think it was my second or third ride of the season. And this was about probably 45 seconds to a minute before I lost all consciousness on a double triple and don't remember the rest of the day.
Oh, jeez.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was my first concussion I've ever had. And I literally, I remember bits and pieces, like it was sparks of memory. I had a full conversation with Ryan Derry that I don't remember whatsoever. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you get back? How long does it take you guys, like both you and Wyatt, when you have an injury like that? How long do you wait before you get back on the bike?
Touch wood.
Takes until we feel better, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, would you go out the same day?
We kind of rush the process. I mean, we take, like, if a concussion happens, it's normally 2 weeks, week off the bike.
Well,
and we kind of start to build into it, I guess.
No.
So
does Chef Eddie do any medical training as well? Like, does he do the old,
sliders
put on the rubber glove?
No. Eddie's the main man.
Sliders and hot dogs, Gary.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Kale. I just interrupted you there. That happens on this show, though, by the way.
Oh, no worries, man. And internet happens too. What I was saying was, usually 2 weeks. I remember after ride, it was my first ride. I was gonna go to Motopark, and like my mechanic closed the door on me. My dad closed the door on me. I called Zebo. He's like, dude, not a good idea. I called Hado. He's like, dude, been there, done that. But for me, because bikes isn't really my main thing, it was just like, why take the risk? If it was sled season and we had a race, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be back out there. But yeah.
Right on. What's the worst injury you had in it? Oh wait, I won't ask this question now. I know, because I think we got pictures that are going to explain some stuff, I think. So I'll ignore that question. Hey, Edmund Ellis is in the house. That's Chef Eddie there. He gives us the old happy face with the hands, so that's good. Welcome aboard. Bruce Stewart says, been a while. What's up, Gary? That's awesome. Welcome aboard. Good to see all my old sled hardcore guys in here. That's good. I should have had Rich and Bobby on to join the fun.
Oh, man.
What? Why? Do you know what pictures are in this group or what?
I have no idea.
So what can you tell me about this photo, Wyatt?
So I was 5 because my number's 5.
4.
Was I 4? I was turning 5. I had to be. But we always went, like, when I was little, we'd always go by numbers. That was my age, and then we'd switch it up. So this was back when I was on the KTM 50 Junior.
Oh, it was an LC Junior. Yeah, it was a little tiny 50.
Yeah. How did I do in this race? I don't even remember. I just remember the track.
Got disqualified. He got disqualified to move up a class. Years later.
Black flagged.
Yeah. So, no, it was at the pit in Danesford.
Yeah.
I had to duct tape elbow pads and shin pads to him because he was too small to wear pads.
Oh, that's crazy. Now, the suspension looks compressed there. Are you coming off of a jump, or was it like that?
No, I was coming off of a jump there. I think I know where it was. That was like my favorite track when I was little. So, but yeah, it's compressed there. I think D4 had that stuff done as well. So,
on that little bike,
yeah,
that's pretty wild.
Yeah,
that's cool. I think Drew has that same helmet.
I know I have it somewhere around here. I don't know where it's at, but Hey, we can't be showing those ones yet. That's those.
Yeah.
We can't show that one.
Hey, did you, yeah, that's awesome.
You gotta
So
look at
that's
this.
not the
1
boot.
second.
Yeah. Here, I got to get you guys big if you're going to do show and tell. We're going back big again.
Check this bad boy out.
That's wicked. That's a street bike helmet.
Yeah.
This is my first helmet ever.
What size?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's broken. But
Keep
Size
that stuff around. 13 is what he's wearing now. I think Drew's a third. Are you a
No,
13?
no,
Drew?
this was size 13 kids.
Oh, kids.
Yeah. Yeah. You might get a chuckle out of that one.
That's awesome. Well, I remember Wyatt was always a little guy, but he's actually grown into quite the tall man now. So it's he's grown into himself. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we put another one up here. Now, I don't think kids are jumping like this, were they, from what I remember back in the day?
Oh no, they were all. Here's the helmet, right here.
oh boy.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the same one we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, very similar to the one Drew wears.
Oh no, Dad, that helmet's like the same.
It's exactly.
It's like a THH.
Are they a THH helmet? Is that what the brand is?
No,
I don't even know what
it's
it's
like
called.
the same
Socks.
exactly that is.
Drew likes it. He says, "Hang on to it; might still fit him."
Yeah.
I'm loving the speed flames.
Yeah, I like that too. The chrome blinds the other riders. That's the secret, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
On this, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Gary,
this isn't this.
That was the jump that he was just landing from.
Oh, is it really? That's the same bike.
Same bike. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. There you go. See, and that's why you got disqualified, right? Because you're not supposed to be jumping like that.
I didn't realize you weren't supposed to race a liquid cooled in an air cooled class.
Is that right? Yeah, there's a little bit of advantage there.
Now that bike was a ripper. That bike would rip.
Is that the one that you sold and the dad got on it thinking he was going to be hot shot to drive it out of the trailer and
No,
he wheelied right over?
That was the KX65.
That bike was fast.
Yeah.
That's 60.
Yeah. Hey, Wyatt, do you know William Durham?
Yep. Billy.
He says Wyatt is the man. There you
Yeah.
go.
Thank you.
Okay, Kale, what's this shot here?
Is that
Is that
So,
you on the left?
As I said, I was short and fat, right? So yeah, it was me.
We don't use that F
back in
word
the
here. We like Polaris. We don't use the F word. We just call you fluffy.
you were big bone.
You were fluffy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, that's for some reason you don't know who that is. That's Tucker Hibbert. He's the greatest snowmobile racer of all time. I was an Arctic Cat
next
guy.
to Blair Morgan.
Next to Blair Morgan. Yeah. But I was a massive Arctic Cat fan back then. I used to ride for them. And yeah, I was so nervous to get up there. It was like the end of the day. I think I was like the last guy in line. And yeah, if you give me 2 seconds, I got to show you something here real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
If
Hey,
you see
got
that
all
photo,
watch
this.
This is your show.
So
What brand-
I was
what
such a
brand is
big
that?
fan that I actually, 1 second, let me put the headset back on here. I got this photo framed.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I got it
That's
signed
awesome.
by him at the next race. So yeah,
So were you,
whatever.
and you were racing then as well?
Oh yeah, I've been racing since I was like 3 years old, I think. Yeah.
That's cool. But you raced that race and he was there and you went up and got to meet him.
Well, he was such a he has his own whatever. You see me wearing the shirt, right? So everyone's going up getting autographs. I remember because he was the last pro there signing autographs, and I have so much respect for him for that. I think it was like 7 o'clock. Everything was wrapping up except for the Tucker Hibbert stand.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to love it. And now they say you should never meet your heroes. Was that a case with this, or is he a true stand-up guy?
So he was just massive back then. He was, I don't know. I was taking a picture like this, and he was like, "Come here, buddy," and he totally little buddied me, right? So I was ecstatic after this. This made my year.
That's cool. I guess so, right? That's the way Andy felt when he first met me.
Very similar. I buddied him.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, buddy. Now, what are you doing here? It looks like you're putting some graphics on the trailer.
So this is my we did a BioSteel edit like mid season. We had a little thing going on with BioSteel, and whatever. This was just whatever mid shot. I was opening my mini fridge, which Big Trav wrapped as well, because whatever, logo's got to be in everything, right? And yeah, there's just this BioSteel shoot. It's a cool photo.
Yeah, it is a cool photo. I like your name logo there. That's pretty neat. That's what we got to do for Wyatt. I keep trying to send stuff, but he keeps changing it, you know. And then you know that Wyatt has a wrap installer. Did you know that, Kale?
Is the picture coming up?
Oh, it is coming up. But
this was Wyatt's hero.
This is all. I know where this is too.
Yeah.
This is out. This is
in practice track in Drumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
track
former
15.
High-end pro rider that Wyatt used to ride with, like super fast. You know, just wouldn't race in sanctioned events because just everybody would want to come and watch him.
That's right.
That's his next KTM. That's the SX Senior.
That bike was really fast.
And was that a 65 or is that a 50?
Still a 50. Yeah, still a 50.
Yeah. Greg from Sometime Is Now, he says, I thought Kale was peeling off that Polaris decal. And he gives you a happy face, a crying face emoji. Not yet. There you go. But this is Andy. That's a CRF 250. Correct?
Oh, yep. You rode that one, Gary.
I did, and it made my knees knock. I think I must have been out of balance or something. I think I wet myself too a bit. It had a whiskey throttle on it. I didn't know what a whiskey throttle was until I started drinking whiskey. And that bike made you want to have a whiskey after you got off of it. It's pretty fast. Yeah. I love it. And then who's this guy yelling at you here? He's saying that Mom said, make sure you pick up lotto tickets when you get home.
Oh, that Skidoo internet must be going slow.
What are we looking at here, Kale? I think we lost him again.
Oh, no.
So Wyatt, is that Kale's dad? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure that's Big Trav. Not sure. Not 100% sure though.
There he's back.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Is it? Right on.
Oh no.
What kind of words of wisdom does he give you? Yeah, I can. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. See you moving too.
Oh, this is Big Trav here. This is him telling me to go hit a quad that he sees in the back. But yeah, he's I don't know. He's probably telling me how to do a corner faster, or telling me to get off the sled, and he'll show me how it's done. But
did he used to race as well?
So yeah, he did used to race back in the day. He when I was on the I was on the 300s, and he was racing the whatever, the vet class, I think. And I remember his last race, he came over this double and he cased it so hard and he knocked his face off his bars, and he was just trying to start the sled for the next 15 minutes. So I think that ended his snowmobile career, but yeah.
Kale, has he got blonde in his beard as well, like mine?
I think so. He's got that salt and pepper beard going on, eh?
Yeah, it's a little bit of blonde. It's just for dads, we call it.
Yeah, it looks that way. And I think that's why I put them together, is I just wanted to show how important it is, father and son, when you're in the sport, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just proves you can you can crash and your kid will still want to keep going on it.
Or just end your career at a very high level like I did.
Yeah. What do you guys, both of you, we'll start with Kale first and then we'll go to Wyatt, but like what tips would you have for people that maybe wanting to get into let's do racing snowcross, Kale? Like, what age should you start at? What kind of things do they need to get going?
So right off the bat, I remember we showed up to the first race with a jerry can full of fuel and a 120, and we still had, you know how the 120s come with a little flag on the back of it. We still had the little flag on the back of it, and everyone was like, "Bro, you got to take that off." So, tip to just get started, right? Like, just get the wheels rolling, and you'll learn as you go. Like, everyone's super helpful at the races. I don't know motocross as well. Like, no one's there to put you down. Everyone's there to want to see you race, right? Want to see you get going. So, just get the wheels rolling.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, can you show up? Like, I know when Chicopee is close to me, and they used to have an amateur where if you wanted to go and bring what you can come with, right, you could race. Is that a good way to get involved, or should you get into it more on an organized level where you plan it? And
Well, no, right off the bat, like, we weren't going out to Ren-Orenda or like down to Duluth, Minnesota, like in the 120s. Like, we were going to the locals, like the Berries, the Lindsays, the Chicopees. Like, we were hitting the local rounds, you know, dipping our toes in. And then once we really started liking the sport and whatever, got to get to know it better, we starting from this first race and trying to win a championship.
that's awesome. And have you won any championships?
Well, yeah, I got one under my belt.
That's
Yeah, it's been a pretty consistent career I've had, but got the opportunity to get one, I think, in the juniors. So it was cool. It was a cool experience.
That's cool. And what about you, Wyatt? What is your tips for anyone that's thinking about starting to get into motocross or getting their kid into motocross? Really, what age should they get into it, and what do they need to get going?
Well, I think anybody can get into it if they want to. It's like, obviously, if you start young, you're gonna kind of develop like a kind of an addiction towards it, like all of us have had with kind of like with you guys with sleds. You guys are always addicted to it, and it's something you can't really get rid of. I think, like Kale said, just keep that ball, like get the ball rolling, and it'll start to flow into it. But like you were saying about talking into the local series versus going into like a huge event or like a more organized event, I would start into a local series and just like Kale said, everybody's super helpful. They're there to help. They're there to help you get going. So I think, yeah, just kind of put yourself out there and take the risk that obviously you can fail. So people need to know that everything's not going to always go your way. So just keep your head up.
Yeah, but how do you find out? Like, if you're a father and you have a little gaffer and you maybe rode motocross as a kid and you want to get your kid into the sport, how do you find out where these events are? Is there Facebook groups or does a local track like Track 15 have a Facebook page and do little events on it, or do you hook up with Go for Dunes? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so obviously you can like look for different tracks in the area, and those tracks will obviously know about events going on or places you can go and ride or places you can go to get more information. And the people riding at the track are normally going to be racers as well, or just riders that have an idea about where things are. Because even just going to like the 15, if you show up there, or Moto Park too, if you show up there and start talking to people, the word's going to get around, and you can go talk to somebody who looks like kind of like they've been doing it for a little while, and they'll for sure give you some insight on where to go. So, and also like with Moto Park, you can go there and find the schedule for the whole year on what's going on.
Right on. Now, like sometimes there's races on, so a newbie won't be able to go out to those, correct? Like Go for Dunes on the weekend, there's no chance you'd get in there, would you?
Yeah, so there's different classes, right? So if you're just like coming into the sport, there's like there's the beginner class and open beginner class and
Vet beginners.
Yeah, there's basically anything you want you can go for, but you have to kind of work your way up the scale. Another thing that's super helpful is with Moto Park, they offer a program to where they can help riders get into it and help riders progress throughout the throughout the scale. And that's where Kale and I are at. Like, we're at the MPA Moto Park Academy, and that's kind of the top training program they offer. And they do offer a lower one, and it's just Moto Park Training, and it's there too. So there's always opportunities and always options.
Yeah.
Cool.
I started
Pro
off with
Polar.
I started off with the MPA camp. You go there, see how you like it, and whatever. Like if you like it that much, there's always opportunity to go up to the MPA, right?
That's cool. Now, Pro Polaris says, Wyatt, did you race at Walton on the weekend?
The first round of Walton I did race. Yeah, I got, I think, I don't know what I can't remember my overall, but I did pretty good there. The Friday was the first race of the round one. I can look into it actually right now.
I could probably tell you, Gary. So he raced Walton in the 250 pro class and also intermediate. So this year, Wyatt's racing both intermediate and pro. It's only time in his career that he can race both in the amateur and the professional ranks. So he raced Walton on Friday, and Sunday he went 17-14 for
17. I went 17-11 on Friday for 12th overall. And then on the Sunday, I got my first top 10, which was an 8th, and then I went 14-11 for 12th overall. So
and this weekend
I got 11th and 14th overall, and that put me at 11th in points. So I'm just outside the top 10.
That's awesome. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And you know what? It wasn't your typical race weekend either. Like the goggles supplier put a picture of you up, and it's just mud. And there's a clear spot where you pull the strip off.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Pro Polaris is right on. Yeah, I love the support. Hey, now we're going into the KX or Team Green here.
Yeah, this is my 65. It was a 2010 Monster Energy edition, and that thing was a rocket. It was so fast. It had a Kyle Stevens kind of done-up motor to it, and it was great.
That bike, Gary, was scary fast.
That's the one the dad got on and went right over on it, right? Yeah.
Now, Dad almost put it in the pool going up the driveway here.
I think I rode that one.
I
think I rode that one a bit, and it was snotty, like just snotty. Oh, that was the 85. It was snotty anyway. Whatever one.
The 85.
How much?
Over this one.
How much modification can you do on them when you're racing? Like, is it just depend on what race you're running?
Yeah. So in the States, like kind of everything's kind of bigger in the States. So with racing, there's the mod class, and then there's also a limited class. And with the limited class, you kind of have to race what's off the showroom floor. And then with the mod class, there's rules that you have to follow for what you can do, but it's got to be, it's more open. So there's more opportunity to change the bike and make it faster and make it better. In the limited class, you're just allowed to do suspension basically. But here it's kind of free game until you get into the Pro Series.
Basically, Gary, how deep your pockets are.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Now with snowmobiling though, there's with snowcross racing, there is limits to no studs on some classes. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think it was 2 years ago. It was something like whatever. I'm not gonna name the specific number, but it was something like that you allowed 93 studs on the track. And this year they upped it. I think it's 110 something, but yeah, there's if you have more than that amount of studs, you're DQ'd because it's whatever, that's the cap.
Yeah. So can I get a job counting studs at a track? Does it pay well?
Oh yeah. Contact CSRA.
That's right. Kyle Laporte, do you know him, Andy?
Yep.
He says why and Andy are legends. Laporte Designs.
Yeah. They help out big time with my resume and other designs that we have.
That's awesome. And what are we looking at here?
This is me and Big K Dog. This is Cody King. He's been my mechanic for 2 years now. I can't thank this guy enough for what he does for us. He literally makes it happen every weekend. As much as I mangle the sled, he puts it back together and gets beyond there with the fastest sled. I know I have the fastest sled under me with this guy as my mechanic.
Right on. How many sleds do you have? Do you have a couple's backup spare, or you got one?
So we run 3. This year we had 3 sleds. We had a race sled, which we do all our R&D on, get that up to peak performance, and then we have our practice sled, and then we call it a part sled just in case, like, whatever, anything goes wrong and you need something like this, right? You can't just order from Polaris, have next day shipping. So we pull an A-arm off that
Right.
sled, put it on the new one.
Right on. Especially with today, with the way parts are, you know.
Yeah, that's
So,
another reason for sure.
Yeah. And does your dad do wrenching too? Like I know Wyatt's dad does a hell of a pile of wrenching. Does your dad get involved in that?
So he does. He knows the basics for sure. He doesn't know everything or the in-depth stuff, but I remember back in the day, he would whatever clean clutches, switch out clutches, primary, secondary. Big clutch guy, but his main role now is getting lunch ready for us. He makes a killer chicken sandwich, man. That's his main role.
I love that. That's cool. I will say your sled looks great. I love the graphics on it.
Thank you.
Did you tell me that Skidoo's had 5 sleds in a race season?
Pardon me?
Was it Skidoo needed 5? And
5? Oh, yeah. If they tip over, you just, put that one back in the trailer and pull another one out.
Is that, that's why they don't tip over much, I think.
Sorry, Gary.
Andy, why don't you have a trailer like this?
I think the short answer is probably my wallet.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, you should see if CJF Racing wants to sponsor you.
I was thinking Split Second Marketing could probably do a nice wrap on mine. I have a nice wrap on the front, but
yeah, massive shout out to Mario Designs for wrapping our trailer, man. Like they put in the effort. They always help us out every year. Do killer jobs on the wrap, make us stand out.
Right on. They're up in Barrie too. The I know them.
Oh
well.
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was real hard getting this trailer into their shop there. I mean, Big Trav did in one go, but the regular driver wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, that's odd. What do you tow it with? Is it it's a 5th wheel, right?
Yeah. So we tow. I think we have a Ford F350. The Tremor. It tows it, whatever, man. We have to put airbags in it, to keep it from sagging in the back. But yeah, it tows it all across Ontario. So yeah.
And is this one of the trailers with the sliding doors on the back that you have a little lounge area?
No. You don't.
No, you're not there yet.
There's no lounge area, right?
It's in the front.
The lounge. See that the gooseneck in the front there? That's where the couches and the shag and the TV is up there. That's where I go up there, have my headphones on, get changed, ready for the race.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day, Wyatt, you'll get that trailer, man.
Hopefully someday.
Yeah, for sure. And this is up in Barrie.
Yeah, I remember this double. This double was a big game changer because no one was hitting it, and I was one of the only guys hitting it. This was just a dope shot because it was hometown. You got the OLG slots in the background there, and I was pumped. Just because it's a hometown race, you have all your parents, family, friends. You have cousins, aunts, uncles coming out to it, so a lot of pressure on you to do a good job. But I think Big Trav was pumped on me for hitting this double.
That's cool. Now, are you the kid that the news did a feature on after this race?
That was a couple of years after. I think it was I'm not sure what year it was, but I've been in the paper twice now, and one of them was here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a chubby. When you were chubby, you were on maybe it was
Fluffy.
Snow Tracks TV. Was it Sled
Big
Tracks
bone.
TV? Yeah, when you were fluffy.
Yeah, it was. I've been on a couple. I remember I was in the paper and I was in Snow Track. I'm not sure what the media.
One of the I seen you on TV anyway. When I see this sled, this is a cat, right?
Yeah, this was the old SB 500. I actually really like this sled.
Yeah. They do pretty. They hold their own at a race too. The cats.
Oh yeah. Well, back then they were much bigger than they are today, but yeah, this sled was my this was my transition sled, right? Like I had the 120s and then transitioned to this one right before. This is a big sled, but this was a 500, not a 600. So it kind of gave me that whatever. Here's the power, but here's not all the power. And this was also throttle blocked, I think.
Oh, as part of the rules.
Yeah, this was either transition or junior, so it had to be throttle blocked and detuned, I think. But yeah,
nice. So, the what do you think as far as like you race motocross and snowmobile? Do you?
Uh-oh.
Gary might have lost you.
Gary's got the Skidoo internet going. Wonder if I can finish his question for you.
Oh, there we go. Hey, I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, no, I'm in the. Anyway, so do you get beat up a lot more on the sled than you do on the bike? Like how much worse is it?
So I was thinking about this question here because I knew it was going to get brought up. But yeah, when you're on the sled, like after a weekend of riding, you just can't walk anymore because sleds make no sense because it's faster to not be smooth through a section sometimes than it is to go in the holes. Like I was talking to, I think it was Hato about this, but he would go through a section and just hit the tops of every whoop to get through it faster than to actually go into the holes, right? Because when you're in the holes, you're wasting time, and then you can just kind of skip off the tops.
So you actually hurt yourself in order to be on top.
Yeah, I was talking to RJ Roy too, and I remember he was like Logan Christian, who was a big cat guy. He would case jumps so there would be no jumps anymore. Like he would purposely hit a triple to case it to make the landing shorter. So yeah, they beat you up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, I was doing that this weekend.
Yeah.
I was casing. There's this jump before the finish line. Actually, it was a corner before the finish line. And it was like a little step down. And the track was so beat up after the landing, like it dug down. So I'd come up short and then pop over it and like skim it. So I kind of know what you mean, but not really.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But you're saying that you can't even walk, like even being a young gaffer, you can't even walk after a race.
Yeah, it's just the amount of pressure your legs endure after just pounding away for 2 to 3 days. It sucks, especially back then, because nowadays being pro, pro light, I only have 3 motos, but back then you would try to get as much seat time as possible. So you do like 6 to 8 motos a day, and like just little fluffy me wouldn't be able to walk on the Monday.
How long are the motos? Like why? How long is one of your races in the pro? Like if
30,
you're talking
30 minutes.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
30 minutes. And what about yours as far as snowcross goes there, Kale?
So 30 minutes I think people would start to die after 30 minutes of a snowcross moto. But we pro lights, we do in the States and Canada, we do 10 minutes and then 15 for the pros.
Right on. Have you ever met Larry and Tyser at the races?
Yeah, I have. Oh, I
Why
think
don't we
Andy's
have
got a question here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
Why
Is Andy still in the house?
Oh, yeah.
Wyatt was just wondering, is it maybe because the motocross is just more demanding and requires more manhood versus snowcross? What's the question?
So I feel like out of motocross, you just need to, go that extra 15 minutes to get the amount of work in as you do with the snowcross. So you have to work for longer to get the muscle, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, I hear you. So, and this just living proof that motocross racers get laid right here. Even the photographers.
Yeah. That was last year. That was probably one of my first edits I've done for
Luke Shaw.
for a motor. Yeah, Luke Shaw. This was like me trying to figure out the camera. I think the shot turned out horribly because I just was too zoomed in or something. This was
Yeah, that's a big lens.
Yeah, beginning of the CGF Odyssey days.
Yeah, you just have to try, right? Experiment with stuff, and some stuff turns out good, some stuff's total crap.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Shelby, man?
Shelby.
Backcountry Motorsports media?
Yeah. Me and Shelby go way back. Like she got photos of me and took videos of me like back on that OLG Slots picture. She probably is the one that took it, to be honest. Like
probably.
Yeah.
She was on the show a couple weeks ago. She rocks. I love her.
She's so sick. She's always she was a she's been a big fan of mine for a long time, and I love seeing her at the races.
Yeah. I think I sent her an invite to the show. I was hoping she'd come on because I knew she'd know you. As soon as I seen you at a track with a camera in your hand, I went, this guy's got to know Shelby for sure.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, God.
I forgot I put this in here, to be honest, man. I think I meant to take it out.
So I just got to say, what the hell?
So
we're looking at, just so the people listening to this, hold on, the people listening to this on the podcast version, it's Kale when he's fluffy and he's laying on a hospital stretcher and his head is strapped down. His neck's got this plastic brace on it. He's in moto gear. He's in his sled moto gear, and he's got the biggest grin and a thumbs up that you can muster here. Okay, now you explain what's going on.
So this was Sudbury way back when, I would say 2015, maybe 2014. There was this massive double that only the sport guys were hitting. I was in transition and I was launching it. But because I was so short and fluffy, I didn't have much slide control in the air. So I came around and CSRA changed up the lip. So there was a big side and a small side. And I came sideways off the jump, cased it, and I didn't fall off the sled. My body froze up. I pulled off to the side and I couldn't feel like my back. So once you say you're back, the medics get really serious about things. So they put me into a stretcher, put me on the ambulance, and we headed to the Sudbury hospital. And by that time, I was so adrenalized. I probably was still adrenalized here. I was just I wasn't feeling it. Oh, funny story about this photo. My dad sent my mom this photo, and then his phone died.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Yeah. So 3 hours in a hospital went by and my mom's freaking out and all she gets is this.
Oh my God. She must've been losing it.
Oh man. She hates when she gets, especially that, because we didn't get a response, right? She doesn't know if her son's okay or not.
Yeah. No, your dad must've been shitting his pants though too. Was he?
So he was shitting his pants off the start, but obviously by the time we got to the hospital we realized things weren't like super serious, and he's the dad that just whips out the phone and starts taking videos.
Yeah, you were like, oh, it wasn't my back sore, it was a Snickers in my back pocket.
So
Kales Dad.
yeah I really hurt my tailbone. I've had a long history of tailbone injuries here, and I actually couldn't walk for like 3 weeks after this because my tailbone was so bruised.
Isn't that the season? Like, doesn't that wipe you? Like in snowmobiling, that's your season, is it not?
Well, that's a little more than 3 weeks, but yeah, I definitely missed a race, maybe 2, from this injury.
Wow. Now, what's the worst injury you've had motocross?
Just the tailbone with Baja a couple of years back.
Is it from falling off the bike or someone landing on? Like, that's the big thing I fear. You see some of these MXers, like, what was that one Supercross race? The guy's leg went up in the other guy's wheel and it went right around and got caught between the.
Yeah, that's happened to me too before. But I think the worst one for me was 2017 when I messed up my tailbone at the Monster Mash.
Yeah, Baja Acres.
That was bad. It sucked.
Oh,
but,
did they airlift you? Did they airlift you out? No, I think it was pretty close. I remember that race.
No, it wasn't too bad. I just remember because I just went back to the rig and hung out in the RV for a bit, and we just packed up and called it a day because my bike was mangled up and the exhaust pipe was done and everything was kind of totaled. So
I made him walk it off there.
yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey, sometime is now says, does anyone else think that Kale looks like the kid from that movie, The Goonies, in this photo?
Yeah.
Wyatt just took a picture of it.
No, bro.
Check your story, bud.
No.
Here, I'll put that up. You got to put that on the story. That's
let me
cool.
put that back up. Let me get that.
Here, I'll
Yeah,
put that
this
back
is
up.
what I look like now, just for everyone who sees my
That's
face.
right.
This is what I look like now.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was I had to put it in there. I didn't care. I don't care.
No, that's good. No, I wouldn't care.
Photo.
Cute kid. I'd be proud of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wearing some old Fox Moto gear.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, well.
You don't show the ladies of today those old pictures, do you, Kale?
Yeah.
No.
But here's one to get back at Wyatt for. Look at it. It looks like he's pouting in there.
Oh, he's not happy.
I was not pumped.
I was not pumped. I like how the gate is bigger than the front wheel. Is that a problem?
No.
Not if you don't hit it. That's Go for Dunes on the Pee-wee track on his 60.
Yeah.
He's holding the sign. What's it says?
Oh, it's the pit board. That was they lost the 32nd board, so I actually had the 32nd board as my pit board. I was helping out the club that day.
That's funny. So instead of like on Snowcross racing where they get Monster Energy girls holding the 30 sign, they actually get Andy Kerr.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
an upgrade.
Who would even want to go watch a motocross?
I don't think I could race after that.
No.
Old single women.
Why do you think he's pouting? Why do you think he's pouting? The Rockstar Energy girl gave Andy that sign, and why it's going, I didn't want Dad to do it. I wanted the one in the mini skirt there to do it.
Oh, he was probably mad at me for something.
Yeah, who knows? Do you guys still get your spouts, or are you pretty good now? Now, Wyatt, like, do you guys still have disagreements about things, or do you kind of know that your dad sort of knows kind of what he's talking about?
Oh, we still get into it sometimes, but it all resolves after about 30 minutes, so it's never too bad.
28, actually.
Yeah.
28 minutes? If it goes to 30, you know to worry?
Yeah.
We break out in rolling out into fights.
Yeah, that's right. If we see you guys rolling around, then it's time to call in somebody. So this is a great, that's a little sandy.
Yeah, that was the first AMO race at Go for Dunes this year. It was a good one. I think I went 1-1 on the day in all my classes. So
nice. And what's the yellow plate mean? Is that for the? Go ahead, you tell me.
So the yellow plate means you're an intermediate rider, and that's the class that I race. So as an intermediate, you can race pro and intermediate. And with the yellow plate, it's kind of like a reward, I guess, to kind of separate you from other riders, and it's kind of something you earn over time, and it's something you kind of have to achieve. So
it's a big deal.
Hey, sorry to interrupt here, but do you mind if I just go to the washroom real quick?
No, there's no washroom breaks. Did you not get the memo?
No, I didn't get the email.
Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Yeah, take your microphone off. Don't do that. We've had that happen before.
Gary, if you see red numbers on a bike, that represents junior as well. So there's different classifications as you come through the
yeah, the yellow's still on here. But I got, like, on the 2019 days when I was riding a 2v2 stroke, I had the right there.
So you're saying it's a yellow plate with red numbers would mean
no, it's
I'll get it.
Why don't grab it? So there's junior colors, and then there's pro colors. So when you look at the different plates, it's kind of like the rite of passage. As you get better and better in each class and you progress through each class, you get a different color, and then you end up earning your pro plates, which hopefully will happen next year for WYATT.
It's almost like a black belt in karate.
Similar, yeah. Similar. If you have any old pictures of my old bikes, you'd see Extreme Pro. Let me get it over there.
There we go.
So there's junior plates.
Yeah.
Is that the red numbers for junior?
Yeah. Yeah. So
There you
it's
go.
kind of something you kind of work up to, I guess. So like I was saying about the scale, I'm worried like what class you stack up in. So when you're on the junior, you have the red plates, the white background, and then once you get to intermediate, it's the black numbers with the yellow background.
Yeah, yeah, right on.
Yeah. So
Okay, Kale?
Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I knew there was something about that. Like, and it also says, what's it say on it? It says like the
the yellow plates say triple crown on it now.
Triple Crown.
Arma, and then it also has the MRC logo on the side. So
Yeah, yeah. So Triple Crown's a big deal too. What does that mean?
it's kind of the race series, like the Pro Series. That,
Canadian Pro
yeah,
Series.
Canadian Pro Series. But on my other plates that I ran in 2019, you have to have you have to have special graphics made for Loretta Lynn's, which was the Tennessee National. It's like the world's biggest amateur national. And those plates, it's black on white. So yeah.
Like there's a
Nice. Yeah, there. We'll get to those. That's good. That's perfect. And so when you're riding sand, and again, we'll throw this to the snow as well. But how much change is there in the bike setup when you're riding from sand to hard pack, or what kind of conditions?
A lot changes. So with this bike right now behind me, the Cowie, it's set up for sand because we just finished the national. And when I put it on the ground, it's kind of set up more like a chopper, like it has a lean to it. So the front end wants to sit tall, so that way it's kind of like your front end's floating throughout the sand, and it kind of tracks better that way as well. And I kind of try to stretch out the swing arm so I get more travel and a longer wheelbase. We also go stiffer on the forks and stiffer on the rear, and we mess with the rebound depending on how rough the track gets. This weekend we did a lot of adjustments for the suspension. So.
And you do that on the fly a lot, do you?
Yeah. So like after every ride we'll do it, and we also change tires. So like this is a sand tire. It's got a paddle to it, and there's only certain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then also on the front, not many people run them, but I have a MX-12 on the front, which is a sand tire, and it helps. Well, I love it. I've been running it ever since 252 strokes, and I just find it helps me track better and helps the front end stick. So that's something we change.
And it's little knobbies though. It's not a scoop on the front, right?
No, it's just like they're kind of like, yeah, they're super skinny.
They're pegs. Yeah. That's cool. And then what about you, Kale? What do you think about setup for snow, like for varying conditions? I mean, you probably see more of a terrain change, right?
Yeah. So a massive thing with snow is suspension comes into play, right? Like you're always tweaking suspension, but other than bikes, sleds, you're messing with the clutch all the time. You know, you go from snow like in Quebec where it's super fine and not thick, and you're changing up the weights in the clutch to something like a horseshoe in like April. So like the snow's super. I almost would call it like soggy, right? You know, that summer snow where it just gets super heavy. So you're, putting heavier weights in the clutch, putting lighter weights in the clutch to balance that out. But suspension also works as well, because when you're riding something, let's say mid-season, it's minus 40, the track's going to be a lot harder than it is going to be in April when it's plus 10.
Yeah, right on. Greg says wants to know if you guys can travel across into the States this season. Go ahead, WYATT. Tell them where you were.
So not all winter, but like fortunate for me, I was able to get down to Florida in February. I had to fly down and kind of ship my stuff down. But I was able to cross, and then on the way home, it was as simple as a border crossing. Like I stayed for 3.25 months, I think. So it was nice to get down there and get a sense of freedom again. But right now, we can't make it back across. But as soon as I get my pro card, though, I'm able to kind of cross and go back and forth as I please because it's kind of my job to get down there and train. So.
Nice. What about you, Kale? Will you have races in the U.S. or is it all Canada?
So this season, we really wanted to try to make it down to the States, but it was we got catfished by our season because our Canadian season was in the middle of phase 2. So it was just a roller coaster ride of, hey, we're racing, hey, we're not racing, hey, we're racing, hey, we're not racing. So yeah, we really wanted to make it down to the States, and we had an opportunity, but it was with the money involved and the time and the effort that had to be put in to make a race or two. It just didn't make sense. But this year, with the support from Polaris, we're kind of trying to make ISOC, which is the series in the States, we're trying to make that a main priority because, as Wyatt said, everything's just 10 times bigger in the States, and if you want to make it anywhere, you have to go to there.
Right on. What do you think? How do you think Wyatt would do on a sled?
It's really bad. I've actually invited him out. I've invited him out to the practice track, and I'm gonna get him out this year for sure. If he's not,
that would be
blasting berms in the States.
That would be awesome.
Like, Gary, do you mean like a toboggan or a snowmobile?
No, I mean a snowmobile.
I don't know how those guys. I gotta give you guys credit for that. Those sleds, they're crazy. Like I rode my buddy set a couple times, and just the speeds they go are just another level. So,
so Drew's second sled, Kale, we bought from. I'm trying to think of the kid's name. We bought a Snowcross race sled. It's a 550 fan from a guy in.
Yeah.
The other side of Toronto. It was.
You're talking about the Bumblebee sled. What was the guy's number? Like 50 something, right?
Maybe 507 was his number. Brian. He's gonna kill me. I can't remember his dad's name's Brian, but I bought their sled and I converted it to trail, and that thing was a rocket. It was awesome. It got horrible gas mileage because it was all jetted and everything. And it would maybe only do 60 miles an hour, but it would get there like that. Like it was fun.
I quickly pulled a photo of it going on camera.
That was it when it was converted to trail. But do you have the one of the kid jumping on it?
No. You would.
I probably have it somewhere. Here, you want to see if you can find it?
Yeah, you got one of your phones handy?
It was here somewhere. But
Yes.
right there.
So, Kale,
I
got a question for you. Would Wyatt have to shave his beard to ride a snowmobile?
Yes.
No, keep the beard. Keep your chin warm.
Yeah, man.
Would he call it beard or?
Beard the beard.
I think there's a folder for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I say we put Kale and Wyatt on a vintage Yamaha RXL and see how they fare.
Yeah. Get them on a link.
Internet.
Get them on a links.
Yeah. I would have loved to have you on Drew's 550. That would have been great to do. Chicopee was canceled that year, though. I remember that because I was talking to Andy about it.
Out, didn't you?
Yeah, and I wanted Drew to go out, but man, oh man, it's that was a sled for
Found
it.
it. He was 614. That was his number. I couldn't actually remember it.
Kale
614. Oh, here I gotta let Kale back in.
How did he drop it?
Kale, there he is.
That
There.
voice.
That's the sled.
Holy crap. That's so sick. Look at the old FXR gear too.
Yeah. That's
Man,
I wish I remember the guy's
Do we have
name.
more photos of it?
But yeah, the kid did good. I mean, he was on Skidoo, so how could you do bad, right?
So don't make me say the wrong thing, man.
On the trailer with it.
And that's when we picked it up. It was like we picked up a 1970 Olympic and for my buddy Dino, and we picked up the 550X.
Which one?
I'd rip the 70.
Oh, hells yeah. He still got it and it runs good. So
That's amazing.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? This is awesome. This picture.
So this is at Glenn Goodale's track. Big shout out to him. He put so much effort into maintaining a public snowcross track that everyone can go to. This is the track's called the Compound. I think I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, I was just, this year was a year of practice, and we practiced Tuesday nights, and then Saturday, Sunday for weeks straight, waiting for the races to go. So I got so much ride time under my belt, and yeah, this is just what the picture is. This is one of my last rides of the year.
Sometimes now says you've got 4 studs too many in that photo.
Oh, he counted that quick?
Yeah, he's like
Blame
Rain
King for that.
You don't get anything by Greg. He'll catch you on that. But yeah. What would you say the biggest thing you can do to a snowmobile to get it competitive in racing?
So me and the boys talked about this a lot, and it's not one thing, right? Like it's a puzzle. You have to, it's several little things that some people don't do and some people do. Like there's not one main thing you can do to a sled to make it, unless you cheat, to make it better than the rest, right? So it's just a bunch of little things. Like, for example, if you ever see a race sled, you'll see little rock speed things on the skis that push the snow out. Tiny things like the exactly 100 and some studs. You know, you gotta tune your suspension in. You know, you do some engine stuff, and it's like clutching's a massive one.
So is it more important to try and make the sled the star than the rider? Where MX, it's more the rider, correct? Wouldn't you say? In seriousness, like I'm not
It's kind
bashing.
of like, well, I know for sleds too, it's everything's kind of, you can put a pro sled rider on a crappy sled, they'll still go good, but you kind of need the best of both worlds. So it's kind of like balance. I know Kale's going to say that too, but with like racing, the main thing that you need to do as soon as you get something is suspension. That's priority. And then you kind of work on the chassis, and then you get in the motor, and it's kind of, everything needs to work together. It needs to be like, the bike needs to be set up for the rider. The rider can't be set up for the bike. You can change your riding style to match something, but it's better to kind of mold the bike for you.
Yeah. A good man once told me that you have to suspension first. You have to learn to walk before you can run.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's massive. I remember back in 2019, we didn't have a mechanic. Our mechanic actually backed out that year, so it was just me and Big Trav. And Kerry was watching some old footage, and he said I was riding a pogo stick. Like, it's just, you need to dial in your suspension, and the more you dial it in, the more comfortable you get. The more comfortable you get, the more faster you get, right? So it's definitely what WYATT said: suspension first.
Yeah, right on. Yeah,
like Gary, I've said that over the years, that you can make a bike. You know, these guys put big money into their motors and cost and make the motor super fast, but they don't handle. And that's the one thing I learned in all these years. You know, in the 15 years of racing, is make the bike handle or make the machine handle.
Yeah. So Greg says, so you're saying Arctic Cat has the best snowcross sled with Hibbert on it? You put Hibbert on any sled, and it's going to be the best sled.
You can put Hibbert on that Skidoo you showed me, and he would win.
I'm sure.
The 1971.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got it. Now, why is your suspension look a little low on this picture?
So this is like South Miami. This is I-74, or not I-74. Sorry, this is 74 Family Fun Park, and there's a race I did in the spring. And as you can see, the front shock, like the front forks, are locked out, and it's called we have a starting device for them, so it keeps the front end down. And in sand and in the hard pack, you kind of want to switch it up. But I've been running that same start device this whole year. But normally for the sand, you want it to sit a little bit taller, just because you do want to ride on the top of it. And with that, it kind of weighs you down and kind of knifes you in. But you want to keep that front end down basically all the way to that first turn. So we, like Dana, the guy that I stayed with, Dana Krebs, he helped me dial that in, and every start I did, I was right up front. So I think this was the day that me and him came together, and unfortunately we came together and he broke his collarbone. So hopefully he's doing well. Yeah.
When you say came together, you hit?
Yeah. And this right after that, well, Gary, can you like get down a little bit? Let me see if that's his bike. No, that one ain't his, but it was in this start. It was in one of these starts.
Wow. So you're saying that it locks the suspension down, and as soon as you hit the first turn, you hit the button and it brings it up?
No, so you set it for your forks, and as your forks go until you hit a bump, it'll like go down and compress, right? And it'll come back up. So
so it'll start normal height, but it'll just keep going down with every bump.
It'll start like this. So like say this is my front end, it'll start down like this, and then as I'm going off the gate and I hit the first bump, it'll unlock and come up. So
I
could take this bike down and set it and show you how low it gets, but it's a pain to undo.
Oh, unless you're riding it. Like you need a good impact to get it.
Every time we get those start dice lined up, I have to get back on it and pull a wheelie and drop the front end down because it's a pain to get out.
It takes some impact to get it to go.
Yeah.
That's about 5 feet off of the gate, Gary. And it latches the suspension in a compressed position, and it holds the front of the bike low so it doesn't wheelie off the start.
Yeah, right. So now, do you guys use like the snowmobiles have a hot start, right? Is that what it's called, Kale? Now, is there a hot start? Is there a hot start for MX?
Is hot start like a launch control?
So hot starts not really.
Like
hot starts just to get your pipe hot, because your engine needs to be cold, but your pipe needs to be really hot. It's weird. So before the race, like while obviously we have a light, not gate. So while the guy's panning the line, you're on the hot start trying to get your sled up to anywhere between $1,000 to 1,200 in heat, right? So it's just like pop, 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 pop. So when you see the guys doing that, that's just getting their pipes hot so they can get a good start.
Yeah. So kind of go off that. In MX, depending on what track you're at, like on hard pack, you kind of want to tame it down, but for the sand, you kind of want to hold it where it's comfortable and like where you can get the best traction. So I guess that kind of be like that. Like you kind of have to control it yourself, or there's a launch control button on the bikes that have the revs sit at a certain point. But I just take it off and just run it without it. So
some of the big bore bikes like the 450s will have a hot start, and it's so they don't rev too far wide open in the first couple. Until you first hit the first gear. That keeps you from flipping over
until you click past third.
Really?
Yeah.
We do have a sorry to cut you off there, but we do have a hole shot device on the sled as well. You hop on the back, or you get two people to hop on the back, and it's just a clip that clips onto the rails, and it does the exact same thing as you see in this photo. It compresses the suspension so your back end's lower, and once you hit that first bump, the clip unleashes, right?
Yeah, and you can get the same kind of shock as well on the bikes too, but it's on the linkage, I believe. So,
wow, see the stuff we're learning here today. I honestly didn't know that. Now the new Mach, it comes to launch control. Like, do you know much about the new Skidoo Mach coming out? Is it the same type of system, or is it more of a grocery getter type system?
I'm not sure about the new Skidoos. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really pay attention to the trail side of stuff, right? I'm mostly sled or racing, so I'm not even sure.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, you learn, so when we get you back on, you can tell us about it.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Troy Parks is in the house. He just got done work. He said he was going to try and hop on here, so he hasn't missed a whole lot, but he's going to fail the test later. Pro Polaris is laughing, grocery getter. Now, this is some real good snort you're riding in here.
Oh man, this was our one and only race of the season. That was just, props to CS Ray for pulling it off, but it was just a shit show. Excuse my language. It was a mess. They tried to pull it off too late. The snow had gone. If you can see, the snow looks like sand, so we were basically riding something like Gopher Dunes. This was my first moto. Got the whole shot, got out front, and I won this one. But
Right on.
yeah, the day went pretty rough. I got 1 in the moto from first moto, 2 in the second moto, and in the final, I think because it was the only race and I was just trying to prove myself for the first race with Polaris, right? I got up to terrible start, got up to third, made a super risky move, fell off the sled, and then yeah, the rest is history. But whatever, I put in 100%, and that's what I can say. But yeah,
Nice, that's perfect. See, Troy Parks came right just in time. He says you're probably just studying the dew flap if you're riding a Polaris.
oh boy.
It's a big ride. We have a lot of fun. You should join us weekly in the wintertime, Kale, because we have a lot of fun on here. We're just all
I would love to.
We all love each other. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah,
but, we're having a good time tonight.
And you know what? There's a lot of brand bashing going on, but like at the end of the day, all the boys are friends. Like we're all just riding sleds, having fun. Just like trucks too. The Ram guys bust the Ford guys, who bust the Chevy guys. Like they're all good brands, but you got your ones.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at this photo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This was a big happy time in my career. We went to where was it? I'm drawing a blank here, but it was the final race of the season in ISOC, and we got to go down there. And this was one I used to ride for Climb back in the day, and this was one of the pro climb riders, Ross Martin. He actually rode the Polaris IQ, the bubble. And I remember
Nice.
This was the podium. He got third. He was super pumped on it. He was throwing his goggles out, throwing his gloves out. And I was one of the only kids, because Climb was just an up and coming gear brand at the time. For racing, I was one of the kids out there wearing Climb. And I was like, dude, send me your helmet. And he looked at his manager, whoever his mechanic, and he's like, can I give this away? And he gave me his helmet.
That's awesome.
It was wicked, man. What an experience. I forget everything I've been through, but like that was a peak. That was so much fun. That's Big Trav in the background there too.
He's got to be proud of you.
That's awesome. He's loving it. Yeah.
Is he like Andy where he lives vicariously? Is he like Andy where he lives vicariously through you because he couldn't do it? And you are?
He says this a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. That's awesome. And then they don't have to get injured either. Right. You're the one that's in the stretcher, not him.
Unless they show you how to do things, and then that gets risky.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Man, it looks like you're having fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was a wicked time. I wish I could remember Wisconsin, Geneva, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. This is the final race of the year in ISOC, and it's always the lap times were like minute 45. That's a big lap time for a snowcross track, and it's just the gnarliest track you'll ever ride. Like you're going up and down the ski hill 3 or 4 times, and what an experience back in the day for young fluffy Kale.
Yeah, Wyatt was a little fluffy too when he was young as well.
Yeah.
I
think it took me longer than Kale to.
Yeah. What are, for both of you guys? What's your workout regimen? Do you have gym memberships? Or you got a home gym or what's up? Go ahead, Wyatt. You start first.
Motorpark Academy works is pretty good, that's for sure. They keep us in line, but right now, like with racing every weekend, it's kind of hard for me to get up there. So I'm gonna be up there after I go to Ottawa this weekend. Right now, I'm kind of still on my gym program that I was on when I was in the States, and it involves a lot of cycling and a lot of cardiovascular training. So
Nice. You don't want to bulk up too much though, right? Like you can see what happened with Andy. He got too big and
Yeah.
Move heavy objects. Yell at people.
move.
Yeah.
Now what about your training there, Kale?
So I don't know if it's the same for WYATT, but around September we start hitting the gym really hard if they're open. Last year I can't remember if they were open or not, but I remember I was in the gym pretty hard. And the difference between sled guys and moto guys is that you need a lot more weight to throw around that 500-pound sled, right? Like there's obviously they're lighter than that, but like you need a lot more bulk. So you'll see the sled boys, they get a lot bigger than the moto boys just because it's a sprint, right? Like 15 minutes is pretty much a sprint, and you gotta put that sled where you want to put that sled, and you have to have the weight to do that. So you're trying to get up there. But once the season starts, I'm saying like we're riding 4 times a week, and that's hard on your body. So it's really just stretching and yoga, and you go for cycling a lot too. I don't know if it's the same for moto, but you don't go hard during the season. That's a staple.
Yeah, we kind of like leading into the season. It's all the work should be done before the season, and it's kind of maintaining it. So
100%.
I was saying, and like you're saying about the weight, that's a big thing. And like for me, like because I'm kind of a bigger kid still, I'm like weighing in like 150 for moto. That's kind of heavy, especially for like kind of for a 250 class. You kind of want to drop below that, and weight kind of plays a big role in our racing, especially with the smaller engines and smaller motors. But it's we kind of cut back a lot. Like in the spring, before I went down to Florida, I was weighing in like 160 just before the season. And then when I got to Florida, I cut back to 145. And now I'm just sitting right at the 150 mark. I'm just trying to maintain that. And it's just hard. I'm sure Kale feels this. It's with riding that much and then racing on the weekends. It's hard to kind of fit that all in. So it's just about kind of maintaining, like I was saying.
Yeah.
And I know WYATT would say this too, but pardon?
I was just going to ask a question. Who was the better runner last year?
You're joking, right? Dude, you're just pumping your ego, man. You gotta back it down a bit.
We were doing the block, and I was doing the block in 27. Kale was sitting like 28.
Not gonna comment on this. But...
Hey, Kale, you can actually phone Domino's Pizza and drop off 2 larges to him right now. That'll set his training regimen back.
Oh yeah, This guy is the fastest runner I've ever met in my life. Dude, I remember I was running. He gave me a head start, and he just blew by me like I was standing still.
That's right.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Do you remember that?
2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yeah. No, but I know WYATT would say this too, but just hats off to MPA. Like I started with MPA in 2018, and they got me addicted to training and whatever. Like I wouldn't be where I am today physically if I didn't have that Motor Park Academy and Zebo and everyone else helping us out with training. Like they're so top notch. It's good. It's a good program.
That's cool. I wanted to ask you about before we flip this slide, and this is not anything because I know WYATT struggles with sponsors, and we're gonna have you guys shout out your sponsors at the end of this or towards the end of the video. I don't mind you guys throwing sponsor names out because it all helps. But the I know WYATT struggles with sponsors and stuff, but here I see you like as a young kid, and you got Climb sponsoring you, and you've got Polaris Team sponsoring you, and is it easier to get sponsors in snow or than it is in MX? And if it is, why is that?
So, I don't know. It's a hard subject because I don't think it's relatively easier, but you just have to make yourself known, right? Like I've been pretty much top 3. I probably WYATT has too, but I've been pretty much top 3 my entire career. And sponsors look for that consistency, right? Like sponsors love that podium speech after every race, you know. And another thing is that I feel moto is heavily saturated. Like everyone sees it. Like moto is the more popular sport, obviously, because you can do it in shorts and a t-shirt. But it's just,
And
you
work
know,
boots.
I feel
Don't forget
and work boots with a beer in your hand, right?
Actually,
But,
I wear Crocs. I wear Crocs like when I
I'm over
ride.
the slide.
Yeah.
Legs,
Yeah. But as I was saying that, like, instead of look at those things. As I was saying, there's 42 riders on a gate instead of 15, right? Like, so it's hard. And I'm super thankful for my dad. He's been super great at helping me with the marketing stuff and whatever, contacting the sponsors, and social media game is pumping out, and the trailer, and you have a lot more real estate on the sled to put sponsors as well. So I've been fortunate to be able to have these sponsors and get supported by these sponsors ever since I was a kid, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's neat to see. Troy Parks says the last motocross he had was an 86 Yami YZ 125 dialed up. He says, I'm sure the bike's to blame for a few of the aches and pains now. He says the new stuff would be crazy to ride to try it 35 years later. Oh, for sure. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
no, neat to see. This is the new Arctic Cat.
Yeah.
Like, this can't be that old of a pitch.
No, this was 2020 season.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsored or endorsed by Arctic Cat anymore, but I wanted to throw this photo in there because, you know, history's in the books. This was one of the coolest wraps, and this was when I was sponsored by Rockstar Energy as well. This is one of the coolest wraps I've ever done. This sled was nicknamed the Gold Digger because we powder coated everything gold. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So, and that's the Arctic Cat. Is it the Blast? Is that what they call that sled?
This was the 600 race sled, but
yeah,
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure exactly what they called it. Probably like the 600R or something like that.
Yeah. Oh,
but
okay.
yeah. I just wanted to throw this in there
good.
for memories because the sled was really cool looking.
Neat. So you were Polaris. You went on an Arctic Cat, and then you went back to Polaris again.
So I was Arctic Cat, and then just recently I got to deal with Polaris, and they've been so good to me, man. Like I can't thank them enough for what they've done to me. And sled handles great, and yeah, I love it. But you know what? Like your history is where you're at. And I was a big Arctic Cat supporter for a lot of years, so I can't forget the support they gave me. And yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. What are we looking at here? This is like anti-gravity levitation.
Yeah, so this is in Florida this year too. This track, it's a private track, and we all rode it in the States, and it's not far from the house I stayed at. But this was a day where we're doing motos out in the heat, and my so Dana, the guy that I was staying with, we were doing motos, and then Mike Brown rolled in. And if anybody doesn't know who Mike Brown is, you should check him out because he is an animal for sure. He just turned 49, I believe, and he's going 100% till the day he's done. So, but he was talking to me, and he was like, "You got lip right there. Just come up to it and just give it a little hit and turn." And that's what I was trying to do. And as you can see, like on the where I'm kind of landing, or where my name's at, you can see the landing, like the rut that I was landing in. But
yeah, I see. Like here is your takeoff point, right? So you were like, can't even get I'm all backwards here, like this, right?
Yeah.
And you're swinging around, and you're gonna land down that way. That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun, and especially being able to do that on a big bike, that was a blast. And Mike Brown really talked me into it, so huge shout out to him and all the guys there. It was a fun time, that's for sure.
That's awesome. They do that on sleds all the time, where they transition over the side like that. So
Yeah. If anyone knows, probably big sled fans, you know, people who follow iSuck, you know, Kyle Pauline, he does some crazy stuff he has a day called KP day, which is just making massive booters and transitions, and yeah, you do it a lot.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't know about Wyatt, but this is usually 30 minutes after the last moto when you got a little left in the tank, and you're like, "Oh, yo, send that triple," or "Oh, that looks dope."
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were done our motos, and then Mike Brown rolled in, and he was like, "You know what, man? I don't think I'm gonna ride today." And then he started talking to me about this thing and showed me this lip he built, and it's history after that. We just went for it, and I talked him into doing it first on his bike, but yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah,
That's
you're usually
cool.
pretty gassed when you do the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like you remember you hit that whoop section for the video after the block?
My God, yeah.
I don't know how you did that. That was crazy.
We just finished the block run, and then I came out first. But anyway, yeah, that whoop section was something.
That's awesome. Here we are. Here you're putting the wrap on.
Taking it off actually.
Oh, you're taking it off. Oh, these are the Arctic Cat colors.
This was the wrap before the new one. I just this was right before snow season started, and this was, a change of brands, and it was a big moment for me, right? Because it's like, well, like changing brands is a pretty heavy thing in Snowcross. I feel like there's a lot more bike brands, but in Snowcross, you really only got the 3 main ones. So changing, kind of going from a home, going through a new home, you don't know how it's going to work out. So it was a big step in my career, I feel like. So when I was taking this wrap off, a lot of memories came with it, but I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I'm so pumped on the Polarises.
Yeah, for sure. That's good.
Yeah,
well, that's you doing that work right there.
Oh yeah, that's me. That was me taking off the wrap. That wrap was a pain in the ass to take off. Took me and Big Trav 3 days to take that wrap off.
See, when you get big like Wyatt and MX racing, you get your own wrap installed. A pro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know Andy shot this, but what camera did you use, Andy?
I use the high end. It's the Canon iPhone.
Yeah, because that thing adds like 40 pounds.
Yeah, no, it's I had it on extra wide. Sorry, Gary, and it highlighted. Yeah. You had your hair worn down that day. Yeah,
yeah. The my midriff is like the spare tire is showing quite well there.
We like our tools so much.
Look great.
We like our tools so much we put a roof over it, buddy.
That's exactly. But you see, Kale, the reason he's been winning so much this year is because there's no bubbles. It's all aerodynamic. Why it's just cutting the wind like you wouldn't believe.
Just slicing it.
Yeah. So
you won't want to see it.
I not only make. What's that, Andy?
I say you don't want to see it anymore. It's pretty scrubbed up.
Oh, I bet. He showed me some of his old graphics, and I can't believe how worn off. And they're thick. They're thick laminate, so it's not like somebody's cheaped out on the graphics. They're thick laminate, and they look they're just shredded, right? Yeah. So, but that's good. That's good. A good day. That was a fun time.
Yeah.
And I not only make you a better rapper, I make you a better lover when I'm teaching you how to do that stuff too.
Oh wow!
Ask Corey Brock if he's still in the house.
This was a long time ago as well. This was Tucker Hibbert. I think this was
again.
At least this was my first time. That's why I put this photo. This is my first time going to an ice hockey race, and man, my eyes were just wide open for the whole 72 hours we were in Duluth, Minnesota. That race is like it kicks off the ice hockey series, and it's just one of the biggest snowcross races in the world, right? Everyone's just trying to, hey, this is what I did during the off season, trying to prove myself. But yeah, this was all Big Trav. He's like, it's Tucker Hibbert. Go take a photo with him. I'm like, no, man. He comes up, plops me beside him, and I'm glad he did it because it was an experience.
That's cool. Is that this is the first time you met him? It was before that the other time?
Yeah, this is the first time I met him. This was probably 2014. Yeah.
That's cool.
Were you 16 there, Kale?
Pardon me?
He said, were you 16 there?
He said, were you 16 there?
I can't hear you, bro.
He said, "Were you
Oh,
16?"
yeah, that
there?
was last year.
Yeah,
That was in
Yeah.
2019, bro.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
send you some pictures of Wyatt. He's taking screenshots of yours, so I'll make sure you have lots
Oh,
of.
Jesus. He's just probably racking up on it. Stories
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. Is there a lot of races at night? Pardon me for not knowing, but that would be so cool to race snowcross at night.
So I've only ever raced at night once, and that was at the there's a horse track in Ottawa, and it was the craziest race too. That was 2020. I came out there, and it was after the UTVs went out, because the UTVs also race when we race, and the track was perfectly groomed. I remember getting that whole shot, and it just feels like you're a pro. Like the lights are on, everyone's watching you, and it's a cool experience. But if the track's not 100% lit, it can get dangerous.
Oh, for sure. You don't want to land in the shadows. That's for sure.
No, I know
Yeah.
a couple guys who just, track changes every lap, right? So if you can't see it and you land on a braking bump and your leg's not ready, even though the knee brace is there, there's, you could snap that easily. But racing at night it's such a blast. It's just a different energy and experience, right?
Yeah, I think it would be. So here's Dad and Wyatt. Now this is Loretta's, correct?
Yeah, this is back in 2019 when we made it to the Loretta Lynn's Nationals. And
Awesome.
this is
Congrats on that too.
This was the last Moto My 280C when I won it, and it was probably one of the highlights of my career. It was amazing. It was the best feeling ever.
That's awesome. What's it mean, like for people that are watching and don't really know motocross? What does Loretta Lynn's mean?
So Loretta Lynn's is kind of like the stepping point. It's kind of where you go. It's where everybody goes to like kind of prove themselves, I guess. So it's the biggest race in America and basically in the world, I guess. It's biggest amateur race in the world. And everyone comes together to race this one race, and it's in Tennessee, Hurricane Hills. What? Hurricane Hills. Sorry. In at Loretta Lynn's Ranch, and it's amazing. And it's only run once a year, and you have to do an area qualifier and then do a regional, and then after that regional you make it in. It's a time, that's for sure. It was amazing.
Yeah, you just don't show up to it. You have to earn your spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the premier amateur race, Gary. It was we set our sights on it, and Wyatt and I talked about it in 2018, and he trained for it, he worked for it, and he went down in 125 and 250 two classes, and to get a win, to get a podium, first of all, like to be there is a huge deal, and then in order to win is also it's a not a lot of Canadians have shared the podium. There's a few, but it's a big deal, man.
That's cool. Now, you couldn't get back there last year because of COVID. Is there a chance to go back again, or are you too old? Are you a different class?
This year we tried to make it. I did my area qualifier in Florida, and I qualified second for my regional. So I qualified second in 250B limited and second in 450B limited, and then fourth and seventh in 250B mod and 450B mod. And unfortunately, the regional lined up the week after I left to come back home, so we weren't able to get to the regional to qualify for it. But I had the speed. I guess I just didn't have the time. But so unfortunately, we're not able to make it this year. And if I do go back for it next year, it'll be an A, which is a fast class.
Pro
so
sport, yeah.
I'll
So that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
You do Red Bull Day in the Dirt, though, don't you? What other big races are you known at?
So Freestone, the Texas National, that's the one of the photo with the power wall. Underground MX in the States as well, which is in Texas. The Red Bull Day in the Dirt, we missed that this year because we were packing up to go to Texas, and I think we left the day before. But it's one of those races. It's the Red Bull Day in the Dirt is a really fun race. And then Freestone is really big. So is Underground. Freestone's basically like it takes everybody in the States to one race in the spring. It's the Spring Nationals. So everybody who's going to Loretta's is normally at Texas, or more people are normally at Texas because not a lot of people get injured that early in the season. So we're going to try to make it to Gatorback this year for Mini-O's. And that's in Florida as well. That's in Gainesville. Back home, it's just really the Pro Nationals and Transcan, which is in August. So
Yeah, right. Lost Kale again. No, that's good. Now, Kale had a couple of his heroes growing up, Tucker Hibbert in some of his photos. Who are some of the celebrities that you've brushed shoulders with or had a chance to meet?
So this year has been a super crazy year for me, but Kyle Stevens was a huge inspiration for me. He was somebody I looked up to for a really long time. I got to meet Dean Wilson, Jason Anderson, Styles Robertson, and they're all just super great guys. And I met them down in the States, and same with Michael Mosman. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life.
That's so sick.
Nice.
It's one of the things that it kind of humbles you, being able to see those guys and meet those guys. And especially with me, I was able to golf with them, go for dinner with them, and it was an experience to remember. And being able to do that, it showed that they're just, like, a lot of people put them up on a pedestal, and obviously they still have that talent, but to just know that they're just like us, just normal people, it really puts it in place, I guess.
Yeah, and when you get to that higher level, like you're in, is it still as helpful as they are when you're starting out, or is it more competitive?
Yeah, so where I'm at right now it's really helpful, I guess, to have these guys, and because they can kind of help guide you, and because they've kind of lived through it already. Because I'm just turning pro and I'm just coming into the season, whereas they've been through it and they've worked through it, and right now they're at kind of the prime of their career, and they're a huge help. So
nice. And here we go, Kale. What are we looking at here?
This was my last ride of the season for I think it was last year. Yeah, last ride of the season last year. Wrapped it up right at the start of September. I think this was right after my birthday. Yeah, Big Trav let me go out one more time, rip up MP, and had to wrap it up after that so we didn't get injured. But yeah, man, I love the bike so much. Like the 125. As much as I want to upgrade to a 250, I heard they make you lazy. So, Big Trav's really pressuring me to stay back on the one bung.
Yeah.
Well, why do they say that though? Like I've heard that as well. Like why would people say that?
So as Wyatt would know, it's harder to get around a track. Like you gotta know. I feel like with a 250 coming up to a jump, you can kind of decide last minute if you want to hit it. But with a one bung, if you have to hit the jump that's around the corner, you got to know you're going to hit that jump by the time you hit the jump before it, because you need the speed to, right? Like you just need to think ahead. You really need to plan ahead to carry the momentum, carry the speed, to actually have the speed so you don't frame case it.
Yeah. Did you call it a one bung?
One bung.
One bung. What's that nickname? How's that come off?
One bong. I don't know. It's just kind of stuck around. A lot of people call him a one bong.
Yeah.
I mean, and like Kale was saying, just add on to that, the 250, it's a lot easier to, like, the power's right there. It's right there in your hands. And with the 125, you really need to find the flow and really carry your speed, because they're not near as capable. Well, I don't want to say they're as capable, but they are capable of doing the same stuff 250 is, but they just need to be in the higher revs and just be able to carry more speed with it. So the 250, you can kind of just roll up to something, just get on the gas and climb over it. So
yeah. And the 125 is like I'm pretty bad for screaming my 125 and just revving the absolute shit out of it. But I think there's only one person worse than me, and that's Wyatt.
That's a compliment, Wyatt. Troy Park says he agrees. He says the 125 was more fun. He used to trade off with his buddy's 250.
Yeah. They definitely are. That's like, if I wasn't riding pro, or if I didn't have to go pro or anything like that, I would still be riding 2-strokes. Like I said, I had the 250 2-stroke, and I love that thing to bits. And I got the 125 sitting back there, and I haven't even touched it this year. I haven't even rode it.
Yeah. Do you still have the 450 as well?
No, I've never had a 450, but last year I had the 250. I had two 250S in 2018 and 2020. This year I have two 250s again. They're both 2021s, and the year before that when I went to Loretta's, it was on a 282 stroke and a 125. So we're thinking
the one you won there, Wyatt won the Team Green Kawasaki. It was your first 4-stroke, I guess. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That thing was a beast. It was a 254 stroke, and that was a nice bike.
Yeah, I see it in moto a lot that like if you wanna climb the ranks, you gotta go to the 250. I know Wyatt knows about that. Like you have to get off the 125 as soon as possible.
I wouldn't say possible, but like 125, I believe, is a stage that everybody needs to take. It's super important, and I honestly would go 125 to 252 stroke before I went 125 to 250F, just because it continues to help you carry your speed. And once you get into that intermediate class, I mean, I'd go to 250F, but those 252 strokes are a great bike, and the 125s are a great bike for even entry-level riders. And a lot of the pros right now, that are kind of getting out of it or just want to have some fun, they'll step back onto a 125 and just go shreds. So
yeah, one of the craziest people I've ever seen on a 125 is Davin Gross at Motomech. Yeah. He flies on that thing. The biggest oppos I've ever seen on a 1-bone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Whew. And everybody loves wheelies.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is the same track that the start photo was at. This is 74 Family Fun Park, and this section I believe I topped out at like 60 miles an hour, 65, something like that. And it's through a whoop section, and it's right up the front of the track, and it was probably one of the scariest sections but most fun parts of the track. So
I love this picture, Gary. It shows our program, a stock bike with stock exhaust.
Yeah, that's right.
But
you know what? That's still a beast, though, eh? Like how, Andy? Like you've ridden both, like your old CRF 250. That was done up a bit, right? It had a little bit of bells and whistles on it.
It had truck springs.
How that much different, eh? Compared to like the suspension is night and day. What about the power delivery? Is there anything different?
That Cowie, like Wyatt's bikes, I rode his 2018 maybe once, and I haven't ridden on the track whatsoever. But these things, Gary, are they're so responsive, and the problem is Wyatt's suspension and his setup is so stiff, and it's not fun to ride. Like for me and you and I, it's no fun at all because it's set up for him going fast on a really rough track. But like they're so fast now. But like I said, like we were earlier, in the 250 Pro class, there's so many people with, they've got a few extra goodies there. Sometimes they got pistons, they've got high compression jugs on, they've got exhaust and mapping, and we're getting there. We're slowly climbing through that world. But Wyatt's showing the rest of the people that you don't need a mod bike to be competitive. You may need it to win, but you can be competitive.
Yeah, for sure. No, like I can't imagine what that power must be.
I've been reading about the 450s and listening to a lot of podcasts about 450s, and that the 450s are insanely fast. They pulled out the 450 junior class because putting a 450 under 13 to 16-year-old kid is not a good idea. They're just too powerful.
Is weight a problem too? Is weight that much of a difference or noticeable, Wyatt?
For bike wise, well, the Husqvarna KTM takes the cake for the lightest bikes, and it's noticeable for sure. Like with handling wise, and even in the air, you can tell. I even rode a KTM 450 at a test track a couple years back, and it was super playful, like super light and nimble. Weight is a factor for sure.
Yeah, Drew says he rode his buddy's 500 EXC KTM and thought he was going to die.
Yeah. Lots of torque.
That'd be an experience.
Yeah. I can't wait to ride it. I'm trying to get on it, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But no, it's amazing how much bike technology has changed. That, you know, you look at my old DT and it was pretty fast in its day, and it's a slouch by anything today's standard, right?
Oh yeah, back in the day, it looks like the suspension was like a 2x4.
Yeah. Hey, so Kale sent me in a picture, if you're listening to this on the podcast, and it's him getting his second place win here, Snowcross, and he's got 2 Rockstar Energy girls that are all bundled up and standing up there on the podium with him. And I said to Andy, can you send me one of Wyatt's podium shots? And he sent me in this, you know. Wyatt gets some old 50-year-old vet, you know, with a COVID mask on, and you know, the Snowcross racers get the hot women. Like, what's going on here, Kale?
You know what? I'd rather that gold bib than the Rockstar girls. I'd also rather Andy Kerr standing beside me than the Rockstar girls too. Guys,
that's right. Does Andy smell better than the Rockstar girls?
Oh, on race day, not so much. No.
I hear you. No, that's cool. Where was this win that you? Congrats on that too. Where was this?
This was that was Ottawa. This was the day before the night race. I was getting those hole shots, and I was actually out front for most of this race. But in the last 2 laps, I made a bobble. Stupid mistake, but was able to recover. I think I went down to 3rd, got back up 2nd, and was able to recover. This was one of my last races I've ever done because it was COVID cut the season short. I was in 2nd place for points, going for that win, and COVID cut our last 2 races off. So yeah, it was a bummer, but you know what? I just miss this feeling getting on the podium, thanking all my sponsors, and just being able to show the world what you're made of, right? You know, you don't get that opportunity very often. It's unfortunate we weren't able to race this year.
Yeah. Brad Hitchcock says he owned a 1985 Quad Sport. Oh no, sorry. He says a 1990 500 and 250 Quad Racer, and he still got the 250. Have you ever thought about racing 4-wheelers?
So a lot of people would say that a 4-wheeler kind of mimics a snowmobile more, but a lot of people also say that they really don't like 4-wheelers and the riders who ride them. But no offense to them, they probably put in the work and they probably rip it up. But when you take a 4-wheeler to a motocross track, you know, no matter who you are, you can be the nicest person in the world, you're going to get some hate. I don't know what it is. But I'm not about to get the hate. And you also, you know, the favorite thing I love to do on a dirt bike is throw whips, and it's a lot of people's favorite thing. So it's you can't really throw massive schmeezers on a quad.
Andy had a race quad, so he knows what you're talking about. Yeah.
Once at RJ's.
Oh.
It was about the stupidest decision of my life.
You raced a quad?
Yeah. That's why I'm so
How was that?
Someone talked me into it that it was a good idea to race a quad. I made Moto 1, and my arms, back, neck, heart. Wyatt was about, I don't know, I was 3 years old. It was 2006. I raced a Honda EX with a 440 big bore kit in it with no suspension. And
2x4s.
Yeah, what was nice is all the top factory teams were watching me, and they were thinking, you know, we should pick this guy up. But I was like, no, my ankles hurt too much from casing the freaking jump, missing a shift in one of the doubles, and all these young guys kicking my arse because I was in my 40s when that happened.
Yeah,
but I look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? What?
Yeah. You had that not long ago. Like you just sold it a couple of years ago. What was that? 3 years ago?
Oh, I think it's longer than that, Gary. I think it's probably 5, maybe 5, 6 years ago now.
So Wyatt never had a chance to wreck that. He just wrecks the quad sport.
Yeah, it's the 4 tracks or the 4-minute there. Yeah, if I had kept that 400, it would be beaten to a pulp.
I'm sure of it. So is this Loretta's here, Andy?
Oh no, this is the Canadian Nationals. It's Transcan in August. This was in 2019. I won one of the schoolboy motos. And then I went on to win a championship in my 280 junior class. So, yeah. And when you win a moto, or when you're the points leader of the season or of the national, you get a gold bib, and that's why it was kind of nice. I think I collected 5 of them that week. So
wow, good work.
Kicked ass.
Now that's kind of like
dude.
that's kind of like the Tour de France yellow jersey, then, right?
Yeah. So only one guy on the track gets to wear that, and I was able to get a new one almost every moto.
Wow. Did you get to keep them?
Yep. I got them all hanging up in the back. Well, I got one of them back here. I got them all up to the house too, aligned in my room. So.
Yeah. Well, like, where do you put all your trophies? Like, it's insane.
Well, I really don't have a room. Well, I don't have. There's the one bib.
That's awesome.
I think that's
Kerr Daddy. That's Andy's?
No, this is mine, man.
No, it's not mine.
Kerr Daddy.
Trophies I got, like, it's lined in my room. Just all the walls are basically covered. There's not a lot of paint showing, so.
That's funny. Yeah, it must be. There mustn't be much room left there.
No, they're invading the bar. They're invading the spare bedroom. They're invading the house.
Yeah, Brad Hitchcock, Gary. Any word when you'll see your links? No, I'm not getting a links. I wish I would. I wish I did, but
oh boy,
I can't do that.
I've seen there was only a couple of them in Canada this year.
I rode one, buddy.
Yeah.
It was wicked. Drew rode one. Yeah, I got a video. Check out my YouTube channel and you see my video on it. And yeah, the Energy Powersports, they're awesome. And he said, anytime you want to ride a Lynx, and that was like on a Monday. And then I said to him on the Tuesday, the next morning, how about tomorrow? And he goes, yep, where do you want to meet? And I'm glad I did, because the snow melted like 3 days later. They had literally just got it out of the box, put it in the truck, and drove it to me.
So in your eyes,
awesome.
what do you think about it? Like, is it just a copy paste of a Skidoo, or is it its own thing? Because I haven't heard much about them.
No, dude, it's its own thing. The uncoupled rear suspension is something else. You know how you were saying, like on the 250, your throttle, you've got all the power at your thumb or your wrist. Everything you want to do is like that. It's such a great wheelie monster, but in the trails, I think it would take a lot to get used to the power delivery on it. We had the Lynx 850 and we had a XRS 850, and Corey and I were trying to drag them, and either or wouldn't get traction. But when we finally did, they were pretty much bang on even. But the way the Lynx puts the power to the ground with that uncoupled rear suspension, it just pulls the skis up and you can wheelie forever. Plus, like the XRS suspensions like my bicep, and the Lynx suspensions like Andy's bicep. It's the actual shock tubes are like, what are they, 65 millimeter or something like that? They're just insane. Oh yeah. It's so I've got a video.
I'm waiting for them to pull a gas and just enter the racing world. Cause I know there's this big race in Sweden called FIM, which is just like, I don't know if you heard of it. It's just a super long snowmobile race. And I don't get me wrong, I may be wrong about this, but there's a rider out there. I think he won a gold medal at X Games. His name is Peter Narsa. I'm pretty sure he rode a Lynx. either Peter Narsa or Adam Renheim. They rode a Lynx in the FIM, and I think they're going to pull a gas and start, dipping their toes into racing here soon.
I think from what the hint was from the people I've talked to, that more Lynx is going to come to North America. It's its own brand, right? It's not Ski-Doo, it's BRP Lynx. And I think you will see more things coming from that brand here, but it's you got to get your butt on one. It's such a cool experience. Is it for everybody? It isn't. I don't think probably 95% of the people that buy a Lynx are not going to ride it the way it needs to be ridden.
Yeah.
Like there's guys that buy XRS 850s, and honestly, I'm sorry to say this, but there's a lot of guys that drive XRS 850s that aren't putting it to anywhere near what that XRS can handle.
No, you see those bad boys up there in the mountains getting absolutely tossed off of booters, and you're like, well, you're just kind of putting around your backyard, mate. Like you don't really need one of those. Don't get me wrong. You have the money to, and you're like, yo, bro, I got the new Ski-Doo XRS, but you're definitely, a lot of people don't ride them to their full potential and whatever. Like it's cool to have one, and it's cool to know you can do that. So that's cool. Yeah.
And I think, like it's like anything, to be the first. Some people are just going to grab the Lynx because they want to be the first to market with it, the first there. They've sold a pile of them, so I don't think it's going to be an issue seeing a Lynx or the new Mach on the trails this winter. But and they're both good sleds, and I can't wait to get my butt on a Mach. And the Lynx is something else. It's something you got to ride, and you're talking about. I say it in the video that I did that back in the day, like when Andy and I were young, and he rode a VMAX, you had to drive the sled. You didn't sit on it and ride it, and they were like sleds back in the day were kind of raw and untamed, and they made you, the suspension wasn't there on the old ones, so they made you ride it. And now with the new sleds like the XRSs and even the Renegade X Trail sleds, the suspension's so good that you can be a shitty rider and be a rock star on a trail, right?
Yeah. And it was like back in the day, the sleds were so like, oh, you're sitting down, and then Blair Morgan, he just, came in, started standing up, and ever since he did that, it's just forward chassis, forward chassis, forward chassis, forward chassis, and now we're today where it's just aggressive. Bars are up, and you're standing up all the time. There's no more sitting down anymore.
No, and the Lynx is meant for standing up. Like it's not a sit down and ride the curves. And that's one thing I didn't like about it, is that when I'm in the corners, I like to come out of a corner and I'm riding from a 600, like my 600's clutched, and it's corner to corner. It's a quick little rabbit. Like it's amazing. And like I come on the throttle out of a turn, like even in the turn I'm on it, but when I come out of a turn, I'm just giving it. And that Lynx, if you thought about putting the throttle on, it pulled up. It was cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of throttle control, eh? Just like getting out of that corner instead of just hammering on it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be the new sleds make you a better rider. Like if you go chassis to chassis, and I seen that with my son as he went through. Every time we got a better chassis, he got way faster and a better rider. But the Lynx is going to change the game to that. You got to become a better driver now. It's going to be you, because you have all the power in the snow. It's how you use it is going to be the key. It'd be like putting me on a 250 4-stroke dirt bike, I'd be just lost. I don't know. That's my big fear. Yeah, definitely. Like if you and I are still talking in the fall and we get a chance, I'll invite you out to do it. But the new Mach, they've got the smart shocks now. I don't know whether you've heard about that, but the computer monitors your suspension 50 times a second. and it makes adjustments.
That's insane. Because I was hearing about the Arctic Cats. Apparently, there's this thing that came out where you can adjust your suspension on the fly. It was their new whatever their thing for 2021, I think 2020. And I'll look more into this mock stuff because that sounds crazy. What did you say? It was like 50 times a second.
50 I think it's 50 times a second, the computer, and it does both front and the rear skid. So like it'll change to the trail conditions instantly.
So you're riding a Tesla basically.
Yeah, Bruce Stewart, he's getting one. He can chime in, man. Like he says IAC, whatever that means. That's the Arctic Cat suspension name. But yeah, ATAC suspension for Arctic Cat is what they say. But the no, like the do is and one of the guys I ride with, Corey Brock, he's getting the XRS with smart shocks, and I can't wait to ride it. My buddy Dino is too. So it'll
Gary, have you still got that Olympic, that 70?
No, unfortunately I needed that coin and I had to sell it. It was a 69. It was a Nordic.
If you had that, I would give Kale a run for his money, I'm sure, on that.
I bet.
Hey, that thing
helmet.
That thing rode really smooth, like for what it was. But that's a sore spot for me because I regret selling that. But it was one of those things that it was in the garage, and you know, my money, my bank account needed the money more than the garage needed a decoration. So, but yeah, but it's, you know how it is. Yeah. So. But well, it's pretty. The next few years in the snowmobiling world is going to be really interesting to watch because of the technology. And I mean, Polaris has come out with some cool stuff, and Skidoo's really dropped the gauntlet this year. And I mean, Arctic Cat's got something in the cooking, and I don't know what it is, but they've been doing some things. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so.
Cats.
Yeah. So, what are we looking at here? Is a lot of purple awards Wyatt's holding here.
Yeah. So this was at my area qualifier for Loretta's this year, and like I was saying, I came out with 2 second overalls, a 4th, and a 7th. And the guy standing beside me on my left, well, if you're looking at it from here, the left, that's Dana Kraus, and he's the guy that I stayed with, and he's helped me through this whole season, and he's helped me for the past little while, and I think everybody, but he's helped me out so much. But yeah, this is what the area qualifier, and it really helped me go. It built my confidence to get those trophies and just to keep it going. And I still haven't even hung them up yet. I got to find some room for them. So,
so all 6 of them are yours, or 2 of them Dana's?
Only the 4 are mine, and then the 2 others are Dana's.
Yeah. So the only thing, Gary, one of the things that Dana didn't teach him to do is turn left this year. He taught him lots of right-hand corners and, you know, good racecraft. But to turn left on a start, he still struggles with. That's how he took poor Dana out.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't know if he can hold a trophy like that no more or what. But
oh, are you serious? It was a bad injury?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Poor guy broke his collarbone trying to avoid riding over top of Wyatt.
Oh no. Oh no. So you owe him big time.
Yeah,
when you make it big, you know, he sacrificed himself for your success. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. You like the gold, do you, Kale?
Oh boy, I gotta give the biggest shout out to Fly Racing. They have just, you know, they swooped in 2020, and it's some next level. They've helped us out so much. I'm just the biggest Fly Racing guy now. Like all my gear, I used to be riding some yank ass moto stuff, and now I'm you know like kid award. So yeah, I love the Fly gear. I heard they're coming out with new stuff for 2021 Snowcross, and they have wicked motocross gear. Like you see all the boys down in the States repping it. And they treat me super well. They help me out in both seasons. So that's so wicked. I'm loving their gear.
Is it the same sponsor like Fly Racing sponsor you in the wintertime and you just wear it all summer, or do they do both?
So they do both. So I'm sponsored by Fly Racing through WPS, which is their kind of, I think there's manufacturer as well. That's why I'm wearing Alpine Star boots, because they do a bunch of different stuff. But Fly Racing, they help us year round, because you see a lot of snowcross stuff on the social media, right? And that's kind of my main thing, what I'm good at. But motocross helps just a ridiculous amount. Like if you don't do the motocross, then you're not going to be competitive in snowcross whatsoever. Like you just gotta, as much as it's different, it's still racing, and it's still racing, a motorized vehicle. So it's about as close as you can get in the summer.
Yeah, that's cool. Like there is a few guys that don't race competitive motocross and they snowcross, but is it kind of like mentally conditioning you for racing as well?
So yeah, it's just racecraft is racecraft. Like, if the guy's got you on the inside, you slow down, and then you take him on the next inside. It's the same thing for cars, through bikes, through snowmobiles. Like racing's racing. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but it helps there. But physically, it's just as important, because you're physically you're doing relatively the same thing. Like you're going around a track for 15 to 30 minutes riding a vehicle, right? So I learned this from Ian Hayden. He plotted me on a bike there for 2 years, and he's like, dude, this will improve your corners. And next thing I know it, I'm whipping sleds around a corner like I am on a bike. So it does help.
I imagine so, right? And when you get on the four-wheelers and start racing them, you'll be even better.
Don't mention it, man. Don't need that pressure.
Yeah.
Kale, that'll be the day, man.
That'll be the day.
That's awesome. Andy will go track his old 400 EX down and get
boy.
you on it. Yeah. So here we have the start of a whip, is it?
No, this is a scrub. Yeah. This is at O-Town in Orlando at Bitlow. And it was, what you do here is just so you stay low and save time in the air. So.
Oh, okay. That's right. Because if you're in the air, you're losing time. So you want to, when you hit the jump, you want to keep as low as you can. How are you not like dropping the bike right down?
Well, you carry it with speed, right? So when you come up to the face, you want to start kind of leaning your body, and you want to do it with most of your body anyway. So I'll initially start the lean at the bottom of the face, or even before that, just so I carry the speed in, and I kind of scrub off the speed as I hit the face. And then the back end will slide out. As you can see, it's doing at the top. And then I'll turn the bars and try to get the bike as low as I can, just so I can kind of shave off even that half a second. It makes a huge difference.
It's so fine. Like look at how close his foot peg is to the jump. If that clips, he's done.
Oh yeah. What how do you learn that?
No, Dad does not. Dad does not teach you that. That's for sure. When I first started doing it, he was like, you don't got to do that. That's just style. It doesn't do anything. Why? It doesn't do anything.
MX ATV is how you learn to do it.
I learned this through watching videos and like watching all the pro guys, and then playing video games too. It kind of helps you get the geometry and stuff down. So
I learned how to whip on MX versus ATV all out.
Yeah.
Like so you're not kidding. You're not kidding. You can actually learn a little bit from that.
Yeah.
You know what? In all honesty, you kind of can, like the whole left-right situation.
Yeah, you can.
Don't kid you, Gary. They watched me for a long time.
No way.
I was a big Andy Kerr fan back in the day.
Mike Goulas says nice scrub. That's the guy that sent in the pictures earlier. Yeah. Oh, DP Rock says that's where he learned all his techniques for the DT 200. Off MX ATV. Yeah. So I know Wyatt's been watching my channel for years, so that's where he gets all the and he got to ride the DT 200, so that made him a better rider right there.
Exactly.
Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, this is in South close towards Miami as well. Yeah, this was a really big jump. I think this one was like a 120, but it was like a triple. It was coming out of a right-hand turn, and I think I was just able to click fourth gear, if I'm not sure though. But it was, yeah. So right here, as you can see, my legs are off the bike, but what I do is a brake tap, so it changes the bike and brings the front end down.
Yeah, is that a front brake tap you're doing?
No, you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that.
Okay, so tell us what it is. Tell us what the taps are like.
So when you hit a jump, like this one, I seat bounced it so I get the height and the distance. And when the front end's sitting high, you'll hit the back brakes, but you have to pull the clutch in so the bike doesn't stall. But you hit the back brakes, and it transitions like the inertia
from the back tire.
and then flips it down to the front. And then when the front end starts to drop, you kind of let off the clutch and give it a little bit of gas, and it'll straighten it back out. But it's kind of something you need to know how to do. It's kind of a safety thing as well. So like even if you're hitting a jump and say you're just Ronnie Mac straight up, you just need a brake tap to bring it down. So
brake tapping in snowcross is absolutely like essential. Like it's why it's kind of a safety thing in motocross, but in snowcross you need to learn that as soon as possible, because like that separates the beginners from the pros. Like every jump you're brake tapping, and that's why the brakes get big problem in snowcross is the brakes get so hot that they just go mushy, because every jump it's just like you need to get that front end down in the holes or you're dead. So yeah, brake tapping is just so essential in snowcross.
And the one thing, like to add on, like the one thing is moto is you kind of want to limit how much you do it though, and not necessarily to save the brakes, but more along the lines of it's a lot slower to brake tap than it is just to cruise to the air. So you kind of want to, like, what you got to learn is to do it with your body. You want to learn how to move the bike with your body throughout the air. So once you're killing, like as soon as you hit the brakes, you're killing your momentum forward, and it's slowing you down. So if you can kind of keep it going, it's a lot faster. Well, not a lot.
So,
but it helps up.
So it puts a whole new word to air brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it because when you land, the tires aren't spinning that you lose the speed, or are you actually slowing down in the air?
Yeah. You slow
Really?
down. Yeah.
Wow. That's insane. How high are you off the ground here?
I'm not even sure. I probably,
like, it looks like about 16 feet.
Yeah, there was a jump at that place that was 130, 40, something like that. And it was as fast as I could go and everything the bike had. So,
and you're landing pretty smooth though, right? It's like there's enough transition. Now what's so Kale, what's the like, I know with snowcross, some of the jumps when you first start out are pretty laughable, but what are you jumping now? What kind of air are you getting when you?
So a lot of the stuff in the CSRA isn't too big. You go. I mean, I can't say that all the time. Sometimes there's some massive triples, like 120 footers are pretty big in the snowcross world. But you go over to SCMX and ISOC. I remember there's a staple race in CSRA, and SCMX is the Quebec. SCMX is the Quebec series. There's a staple race in CSRA where CSRA and SCMX, they combine to do, it's called Valcourt. And in Valcourt, Quebec, that's the Skidoo Central. Like I think that's where their main production.
Their head off. Yeah.
So they host this massive race where it's ovals, and inside of the oval track is a sled track. And it's known the Valcourt doubles because actually in 2020 it was the Valcourt triples. So it's just massive, like 120 to 140 feet doubles. I think I sent you a photo back in sport. I was hitting one, but you come around a corner and it's probably 80-foot double to 100-foot triple to probably 100-foot to 120-foot double. So that's one of the gnarliest sections I've ever ridden. And then you go to ISOC, and 120-foot triples are just regular on every track, and you have to know how to hit those. Takes a lot of balls.
Right on. Was this just the weekend, Wyatt?
No, this was in Florida as well. So this earlier in the live, there was a video of me like wheeling. This is kind of the end of the section, and I was passing this guy, I think, for the lead because I came from further back in the pack. So I came around the outside of it and carried a lot more momentum and got into that inside line, and that's kind of what helped me get the win. So
that's awesome. The front wheel doesn't spend too much time on the ground, does it?
No, not at all. So
I think we're out of Kale's photos. I got one more photo Kale sent me though, so I can show it once we're done here. But
so this is the Florida fam right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is when I qualified for Loretta Lynn's in 2019. These are like on the left, you can see my dad, and then Andrea beside my dad, and then Miles, then me, and then Kelsey. And Kelsey and Dana. And Dana's the guy with the sunglasses on the left. He's the guy that I stayed with, and then Austin in the back. But these guys, they've helped me so much, and especially being down south, I spent a lot of time with them, and it's a huge part of my life now, and I hope to have them in there for the rest of my life. So,
how much you want for that bucket hat, dude? I need one of those.
Dude, you see one?
Yeah. I totally missed out on those. I need one for filming.
Yeah, let me tell you, man, that's homemade.
Oh,
really?
She's put that on. Okay, then you got to make me one then.
For sure, man.
That's why it's his younger version of the family, Gary.
That's
so
awesome.
Kels and Dana are Wyatt's guardians when he was down south. There's
nice.
All those people. I don't know if you remember, but that was actually the Michigan race when Wyatt got the ticket for Loretta's.
That's great. So you've known Dana and his wife for a while then.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
So did you win a bottle of champagne or is that apple juice there?
2 bottles of champagne.
2 bottles of champagne. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I haven't popped any. No, I haven't popped them.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
That's cool. What a great crew, man. That's awesome. And is this the 125 here?
No, that's the 252 stroke. Yeah, it's 252 stroke. Yeah. So
now, how do you go Yamaha and Kawasaki? Does it not matter, or does Inglis prefer? Inglis Cycle is one of your sponsors. Shout out.
So I ride for a cycle. This year I'm sponsored by Canadian Kawasaki, and I'm helped out and supported by Team Green. In 2019, I rode for Inglis Cycle as well, and they carry Yamaha, Kawi, and Husky. So if you have anything you need, I'd hit them up. They got everything. The Yamaha in 2019, that was a 252 stroke, and that was in the limited class. And that was, I think, before I won the moto. And the guy behind me, that's Reese Clayson, and he's one of my buddies from Ohio as well. So it was kind of it was a great time, that's for sure. That week was probably, like I said, one of the best times of my life.
There's cool. Gary, that's the AMA in the junior and the amateur ranks. You're not allowed to have 3 digits, so you had to have a two-digit number. So that was his 64.
Yeah.
Right on. The what is your opinion between the Yamaha and the Kawasaki as far as bike goes, bike to bike?
Well, I can be strictly honest right now with because I ride for Inglis Cycle. So the Yamaha, for me, the best transition was to go from the KX100, which was a Kawi Super Mini, to the Yamaha 125. They felt the exact same. And then from the 125 two-stroke, I went to a 252 stroke, which they're damn near the exact same bike frame, everything, just different motor. And I loved it. It felt exactly the same as my 125, and I could throw it around a lot. And then switching over to Kawi, the reason behind that was I wasn't a fan of the Yamaha 250s. The 4-strokes, I found they're just a little bit too wide for me, and me being kind of a shorter kid, sitting at 5'8", my boots would get caught under the subframe. And I know there's there's plastics you can buy that help fix that. We just went the route with Kawi, and they kind of have been there to support me and help me out this year, and same with last year. So they've kind of, like I said, helped me out and kept me going. So, and I've always like I've always been a Cowie kid growing up. Kicks, 65 kicks, 85 super minis. We've been through them all, and the only time we switched to Yamaha was for the 2-stroke. So
Yeah, wow, that's good. It's good to hear from you because you've ridden them both, right? That's neat.
Yeah.
So, and then we got one more. I just got to share a screen here. What are we looking at here?
Oh my God, this guy. So this was the last race of the season in 2020. I got the win in Timmins, Ontario, the Sticks. You could see my my goggles. That was a brutal race. Just getting absolutely roosted with that concrete snow and the snow dump there. But track was good. Track was fun. This is me, Big Trav, and the guy in the back there is Brian Lee. And I just want to put this. I forgot about him, but I just want to put this in the podcast here because that guy in the back, he passed away this year, right before the season. And
sorry to hear that, man.
No, it's all good. He was the craziest guy I knew in my life. He was insane. But he got me connected with everybody. Like I don't think I'd be where I am today with all my sponsors without him, and I don't think I'd be with MPA today without him. Don't think I would have had that 3-year rolling with Rockstar Energy without him. And yeah, he's actually, if you want to meet him, he's right here. Apparently, I got his penis. He said. So here's Brian's dick.
Hold on a second here. Hold on a second. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy. Apparently, this is his penis, and he wanted me to have it. So yeah.
Are you kidding me? That is sick. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah. Fucking love the guy, and you'll always be in my heart. He's right next to that helmet. He's right next to my last Rockstar Energy helmet. So fucking, love this guy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He loves you when he gives you his penis on his card.
Oh yeah. That guy was the coolest guy in the world, and sad to see him leave, but yeah, he's the biggest impact on my snowmobile career to this day. So yeah, want to shout him out.
Wow, that's awesome. That's good of you to do that, man. That's you and Wyatt, very mature, grown up men. I think racing has probably done that for you, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, holy shit, man. So, but I'm gonna have to change my will to give Wyatt my penis when I'm going.
Yeah, that was crazy. His brother dropped it off. He was like, "Here's Brian's penis." I was like, "Okay, fuck."
But mine won't be ashes. It'll be the real deal. I'm gonna have it taxidermied, Andy.
You need a smaller bag, Gary.
All 4 millimeters of it.
I'm gonna give you a heads up. I'm gonna lose my laptop here shortly. The battery's dying a rapid death here, so I'll have to go over to the iPad or the.
No problem. Where Wyatt is?
Yeah,
he's got a better video anyway. Your video sucks.
Well, I thought I looked pretty handsome.
No, you do look handsome when you're blurry. Man. Yeah. So anyway, Wyatt, why don't you shout out your sponsors while we're just talking here?
Yeah, all right. I'd love to give a huge shout out to English Cycle for really getting me on the bike this year. They've done everything they can to keep me riding and getting the bike under me. It's especially been a huge part to kind of keeping me going and getting me to the races. I'd love to thank Moto Park, Barry Cullen, my mom, my dad, Edmund Ellis, my sister, Hall Race Fuels, D&D Graphics. They're the guys that helped me out with that. Got seat covers, Atlas Brace, Funnel Web Filters for helping me out too this year, getting me dialed in. Dana Kraus, Zebo, MPA, Garth, Sprocket, all those guys. Just anybody I forgot, huge shout out. Thank you. It's just keeping me going. So
that's awesome. What about you, Kale? Who do you got going there?
Oh boy. Okay. So I would like to give a massive shout out to Polaris just for taking me under their wing this year, taking a long shot on me. And I know I wasn't able to race this year, but I'm training my ass off and next year I'm going to get the positions for them. And they put so much trust in us and the CGF team and built a relationship with them this year. So pumped on that. I want to thank OTSFF athletes. They've been helping us out for quite a while now. I want to thank KMB Performance, which is my mechanic, Cody King. He is he just gets us race to race. If we didn't have him, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing today. So I'm super pumped on him. I want to thank Fly Racing Snow for giving us wicked gear. I love their gear, moto and snow. I want to thank Pro Streets Powersports. They've helped us out for quite a bit. I want to thank Central Painting, Industrial Flooring Systems. I want to thank everybody at MPA, from the Rock Pickers to Zeb Dennis. They build that place and they make it a great place to go train. MPA is just whatever. I think it's one of the greatest training places in Canada. I'd like to thank Evolve Sport and Science. They helped me out with training, preseason training. I want to thank Woody's Traction for giving me traction on the track. I want to thank Atlas Braces for saving my neck. I want to give a huge shout out to Motivate Lifestyle for giving me some swagger to rock at the motocross track. I want to thank Motul for their oils, and I want to give a big shout out to Mario Designs for the trailer wrap. Yeah, and
awesome. Good work.
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, I'm sure you left that. There's how it's done, Andy. Like we got to get some sponsors.
I gotta thank my dad. He always shits on me.
Oh yeah, you got.
So I gotta thank Big Trav.
I got.
Yeah, see, Wyatt thanks his dad first and his mom too.
Yeah, I'm gonna get shit on for that.
Yeah, you will. And you should. Just for that, you should give Andy some of your sponsors.
Also, huge shout out to OG Optics. They had me dialed in this weekend. They had goggles prepped for me, and especially being in the sand, they helped me out. So, setting them up with gear. Yeah, and
OG's is awesome. Yeah, OG's was good. They posted a picture of you this weekend, which I thought that was really neat seeing coming from them, and that's nice to see their support, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. But no, do you have anything else you guys want to add to this show, or like we're at 2 hours and 46 minutes? So time, I told you, Kale, time would fly, eh?
Time fly. 3 hours sounds like 2 hours 45 minutes sounds like a long time in the get-go, but we're almost over here, and it seemed like it was 7 like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, I know. It's pretty nutty, right? So I don't have a set time to call the end. I just usually let it flow. But you guys were awesome tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate both your time. I know you got lots to go and lots going on right now, I should say. And it's nice to have you guys both on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. I really appreciate it. Good way to get the rookies' names out there, kind of, right? So I appreciate that for sure, especially with your sled community.
Oh, for sure. Like they're awesome. And I knew they'd have a good time with you guys. I do like both Wyatt and Kale. If you're talking to Moto Park, they should be on here. We got to get them on here to talk about their.
It would be so cool to have Zeb on here. Zeb would just be 100% throttled. Yeah, he would be pinned for 3 hours straight.
Yeah,
I'd love put the word out, because I'd love to give him the chance to step on the old summer session stage and show us what they've got and
yeah, you'd see a lot of him shitting on us if we were all on here together. He'd be just he'd just be shitting on us.
Gary, why don't we do it from Moto Park?
Yeah, Kale and I will be up there in a couple weeks. So
yeah, I'm up there. I think it's July 19th to like August. Yeah, we're training together there.
Oh, that'd be awesome,
man. So yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's talk more about that. But that would be a riot, right?
That'd be so sick.
So I get to ride the 125, Kale's 125, and
maybe Andy brings out his 4-wheeler.
No, he doesn't have it anymore. But I'd bring up the Kale. I'd bring up the DT, and I'd unplug the spark plug so that it would tame it so you could ride it.
Maybe I'll bring up the race sled. We could skip the Motor Park bond.
I won't bother. I won't bother giving my every 2 year air filter clean, because you need to ride it dirty so that it detunes it a bit. Yeah. So, but no, that's cool. Sometimes now says I think Gary sponsored by the sponsors the beer company, not the other way around. I hear you, right? So No, I got a good bunch of guys in the chat, and thanks everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for your super chats too. That means a lot to me. And we did determine that Ski-Doo is better than Polaris tonight.
Whoa! When did we do this?
Just by the contributions. We had like $20 for Ski-Doo, and we had or more. And we had like $5 for Polaris. Might have not even been $5. It might have been $4.99.
You know what? Everything counts, man. Everything counts. You probably have a big Canadian audience.
Yeah, great.
That's why I'm here, man. I'm promoting them in Canada. I'm their guy.
That's right. Exactly. No.
Spread the word.
Hey, listen, I can't say anything bad about Polaris because I've had Dan Adams on. I've had the Polaris Ontario ambassador. Like, they've been good to us. Gracie Gear's been on. And I mean, it's they've been no problem to get on, but I can't seem to get, like, I've had Dave Nerona on, which is a huge, he's my hero. And Blair Morgan, obviously, but I can't I find it hard to get Ski-Doo guys on. Sorry
for interrupting you, man, but I support Polaris, but you can't shit on any of them. They're all great brands. And I know Polaris, I know the head guy would say the same thing. Like, I love the Polaris. I'm a Polaris guy. I support them, but every brand is pretty wicked, right? So they're all making good product right now. And like I said, we're in good times. So because I think the next few years is going to be everybody trying to get to the top, and the technology is so good. So David McKinney, Bruce Stewart says, yes, big Polaris. So, and 509, he's been on. So I can't say anything bad about Polaris because it's been like, there was a time there when I was saying nothing but good things about Polaris because of the support they were giving the show. So it's good. It's all good. Anytime I don't say anything good, it's just in jest. So, but it's all in fun. What else are we going to talk about, right? Yeah, you know what? You just got to shit on other people. That's what we do best.
Exactly. So what's your next race, Wyatt? When are you riding again?
I'm racing this weekend in Ottawa at Sandalee. I think that's round 6. No, round 5.
Round 5. Yeah, round 5 is in Ottawa.
And then after that, I have a week break, and then it's Motopark Cup, and then we're out to Quebec for a little bit, and then we'll be back to Walton Transcan.
Nice. And how, if people want to find you on social media, how do they find you?
They can find me at WYATT KERR 164 on Instagram, and or just WYATT KERR on Facebook.
Okay, and your YouTube?
Andy78 KERR.
Okay, but we're going to change that soon, so stay tuned. And then what about you, Kale? How do people find you?
You can catch me right there at Kale140 on Instagram. And you know what? This year I got some big things coming for the YouTube. I have so many people asking when I'm going to pump out a new video. I got one up there for my last ride of 2020, and then I got one up there just me messing around with one of my best friends in moto. But you can catch me on Instagram at Kale140, and on YouTube, I think it's just Kale Firth. Yeah. Okay.
What I'll do is I'll actually put a link to your channels in the description tomorrow or the next day, and away we go. But thank you guys again for your time today. Thanks, Andy, for setting this up. He's been working on it a while, and it's been a good show. It's been a really good show.
For sure.
I'm just going to roll the credit. Thank you, everybody watching right now and in the chats. And I'm just going to roll the credits. Just stay online for a bit more. And thanks again for Energy Powersports for sponsoring this craziness. And make sure you go check them out at energypowersports.ca if you need anything, including Sea-Doo rentals this summer. So anyway, cheers, guys. Have a beer. Keep the rubber side down, and stay classy.
It's a journey.